Honestly, I'm gonna tell you what. I thought $100 was it, but after watching the YouTube video of this and reviews for this Optimus Prime, I think 169.99 might be my new limit. Okay, because I wasn't gonna get it, but after watching it, I'm probably gonna get
It looks
this.
pretty cool.
Alrighty, everybody, sit down, grab a cup of coffee or beer, because we are here for another episode of Punch Drunk Nerd. That's right. My name is Luis Gonzalez, and with me is
Miguel Sanchez.
And Deadpool.
Yes, and we are here at Punch Drunk Nerd, ready to talk about nerd shit. Now, this week is going to be a little bit different. We don't have a movie discussion this week, but if you do want to listen to Doctor Strange discussion about the Northmen or Everything Everywhere All at Once Moon Knight finale, go back to our last podcast. You can listen to that, because in this podcast, we are filled with nerd news. Okay, we're just moving on over. We had a slow releases of movies this week that we didn't want to cover. So we're just going to spend all of our time on the news. I think we got double or triple the news stories this week. So we're going to do that.
Yeah.
And then after that, we're going to go talk about what we're into. You know, it could be a book. It could be a new album. It could be a show. Who knows? Wait and find out. Now, we're going to speed right through this, and we're going to jump in because it's Marvel's She-Hulk, okay? She just dropped, and she is here. This legal comedy is coming out August 17th with 9 episodes. You guys saw the trailer. What'd you guys think?
Yeah, I thought it looked fun. I think the biggest thing that the internet jumped all over was the CGI looked a little wonky.
Yeah.
But, you know, as we've said many times, you know what I mean? It's just not a finished product. You're going to see it when it comes out. It'll look a lot better, I'm sure.
It's like 3 months away, right?
Yeah, August.
Yeah. So they got time.
Oh, yeah.
Keep your
But it looks
knickers on.
fun. I like the premise that she's a lawyer for superheroes, or
Yeah.
I think at least that's how I interpreted it.
I think so, yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was just like a legal battle against superheroes, but I feel like that was the whole point of a civil war or whatever. So she must be just like regular superhero lawyer. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Or
That's a cool
supers,
premise.
right? Because what I got from the trailer is that she could be potentially representing Abomination.
I think that's what
Yeah.
they're, insinuating.
So kind of just like people of a super or mutant persuasion.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah, I know there's like obviously everyone's talking, like the main point is, distractingly point is how bad the CG looks on her and how it can feel like a little cartoony, or you could feel that it's not really there. You know, I think it's a Disney Plus show, and I think they're not going to have the VFX the same as other ones. But honestly, for some reason, in this show, I don't care. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm drinking the Marvel juice. Obviously, I'm a big Marvel fan, but for some reason, I'm just like, fuck it. Like, what a weird thing that we're getting a She-Hulk, you know? And it's already difficult as it is, like, for it to be a movie. And the fact that we're getting a TV show, everyone's trying their damnedest. You know, we're trying our hardest to do this thing. And I think Hulk looks good because they're probably reusing some of his, like, stuff from the past, so they can easily integrate that in. But man, that looks hard. That looks tough. I mean, you got to replicate a whole moving human being as a main character for a TV show. I think knowing all these things, I'm gonna excuse that and be okay with it for a little bit. For me personally, you know, I'm looking forward to the fact that it's like a comedy, like a legal comedy. We'll see how far it really leans into it. But I actually dug into the showrunner, the writer and director. Jessica Gao is the writer, and she's the showrunner, and she did stuff like Rick and Morty, Silicon Valley, the show Corporate, and what else did she do? She did Robot Chicken, and even like kid shows like Big Time Rush. So you know she has the range to kind of like take some comedy and make it Marvel Disney Plus friendly.
Sure.
You know, and I like that she's a writer of Rick and Morty and Silicon Valley, so I'm hoping to see some of that flavor in this show. And then the director, Kat Coiro, I looked her up on IMDb, and she directed Dead to Me on Netflix. She did a couple episodes. She did an episode of Shameless, The Mick,
Nice.
an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So it seems like It's Always Sunny, Modern Family. So it seems like she has some like experience.
Shows.
Yeah, it seems like she has some obviously comedy experience. So they look like they really grabbed some like good people to lead the charge. So, yeah, I mean, good finds like that makes me interested. in the show.
I didn't know this, Luis. You read more comics than I do, but are they cousins? Are they family members? Like Hulk and She-Hulk in the comics?
Yeah, they're cousins, and something happens where Bruce has to give her his blood, and so because of the blood transfusion, it ignites that Hulk feature, but a little bit differently, But I think in this one,
like full Hulk,
a little
exactly,
watered down.
And
Hulk.
I think in this one, I was reading somewhere that there's a shot of a car being flipped around, falling down the hill, and I think that could be, maybe what brought her to the hospital that needed
got it.
kind of like the blood, some blood from her cousin. So, yeah, man, I don't know. It looks fun, looks exciting. It's like the somebody was saying online, the horniest version of Marvel so far.
A little bit. This is definitely gonna get weird.
But that's how I think. Like I haven't read too much of She-Hulk stuff. But when you look at She-Hulk, it does carry this like kind of, iconic, look to it that I think that they're translating into the show.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. No, I just mean like how audiences are going to take it.
I know, it's a fine line.
Especially if they're going to delve into the dating world of She-Hulk, which seems like a fun element, but, some nerds out there are weirdos. Not us, but you know what I mean. It's just gonna be interesting, like sexualizing like avatars and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless I've just made it with, you know what I mean? It's just like, oh yeah, I want a big tall green lady to carry me to bed. Wink, wink.
That was one of my favorite parts of the trailer.
It was hilarious. Yeah. No, but anyway, not to like, it was just something weird that I thought whilst watching it a second time. I was just like, there's going to be just like some weird responses to this all around. But overall, I'm excited. Like, I'm a fan of the Hulk, and I wish we had another Hulk movie by now. But
hey, well, it's hard because of the whole deal with Universal.
Those bastards. But hey, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good.
I don't know.
Another series.
I was saying this last week about Doctor Strange. It's nice when they pair up certain superheroes together for movies. I kind of feel like Hulk, it's kind of worked in Marvel's favor. Hulk can be in all of these other properties and don't have to spend so much time doing a Hulk movie. I don't think, I don't know about other people. I'm never really like itching for a Hulk movie. I feel like we've gotten a lot of his arc throughout the different movies and stories, and I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. I watched the trailer a couple times, and then I was watching something on YouTube, and that ad came up of She-Hulk, and anytime an ad comes up on YouTube, I'm like skip. And this one I was like, well, fuck it, I'll watch it again. Sure, why not? I just watched the whole thing, and I was like, all right, I'm giving this YouTuber some sense, after watching it. But it's a fun trailer. I think it was like it's a fun little watch they put together. Yeah, again, obviously there's some weird motion stuff, but I'm okay. Oh, and also I didn't realize this, but the girl from I think New Girl is supposedly the villain,
the bad guy.
Yeah.
Which one?
Wait a second. Is it from New Girl or is it?
No, not New Girl. Who am I thinking of?
The Good Place.
The Good Place. Yes, The Good Place. My goodness, please don't hate me, everybody. Yeah, The Good Place.
Kristen Bell.
No.
I
don't watch A Good Place. I'm sorry.
I'm blanking on her name. Now I'm gonna have to look it up just real quick.
She's British, right? Or she plays British.
Jamil. I'm gonna look it up. Good.
Jamila Jamil.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. You beat me to it.
There you go.
Yeah, she's supposed to be the bad guy.
Yeah, so if you like The Good Place, she's going to be in this as well. It's going to be a fun, good time.
Yeah.
Ed, you've never seen Good Place?
Nah, probably a couple of episodes with you and Kristen one time.
Fair enough. You should watch the first season. That's what I tell everyone. If you watch, I don't remember how many episodes it is, and I know it's kind of tough to commit to a whole season, but they're only like 20-minute, 30-minute episodes. And at the end of that first season, you'll know I either want to keep watching or I won't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
50 episodes.
Sarah and I need a new sitcom to.
It's easy
add to
peasy.
our
You should
repertoire.
watch it, man. It's a good one. I
Okay.
like it,
Yeah,
and
no,
I think it
people
ends
love
strongly too.
Okay.
And also, sorry, Luis was talking about Silicon Valley earlier, Ed. I'm always pushing that show. Silicon
Dude.
Valley is good.
That's a good one
Okay.
too.
I love
I need
that show.
to
I mean, every season
create a
is
TV list.
You need to quit your job and just watch a bunch of TV. All right.
Man.
Yeah, if someone would just
that I
sponsor
could.
us, you know what I mean, we could do it.
Exactly. Somebody could sponsor me and let me just watch TV all day long. I'd love
Yeah.
you. I'd kiss you.
Considering
Yeah.
some of the stupid influencers out there, just pay me to watch movies. Fuck it. Keep me happy. You keep you happy.
It's content.
And TV shows, yeah.
We don't cost much. You know what I mean? We
No.
just need a couple bucks here and there, keep us
No,
afloat.
pennies on the dollar you can get us.
Yeah.
Like, I just put my Criterion subscription on hold for a couple of months,
Look at this
You
poor
need to
man.
keep
This poor
watching-
man put his Criterion collection on hold. Will you please save him? Will you please send us money? Send it to our
Do you
Venmo
know-
account.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to convince your partner to watch these artsy-fartsy, foreign language or whatever classic movies? It's very hard. So,
Yeah.
unless we just want to drift apart, if you want my relationship to be in a good place, pay for my Criterion
There you go.
at Punch Drunk Nerd. Thank you very much.
I'll tell you what, give us money, but there are a lot of shows that are not getting money this next upcoming season. They're calling it the Red Wedding of TV shows because a lot of shows got canceled. About 19 broadcast TV shows got canceled, 10 specifically at CW, which was huge for the CW. I'm going to list those off here if I can find them, for the good Lord, where I can find them. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Okay, so the CW, we're losing... What is this show? 4,400? 4,400? I don't know. There could be many ways to say that.
4,400.
Okay. You know that show?
I know of it. I've never watched it.
Okay.
I know it's called the 4,400.
Okay, good. Well, thank you. We have an expert on board, the 4,400.
Shut the fuck up.
Batwoman is gone. Charmed is gone. DC Legends of Tomorrow, Dynasty, In the
Wow.
Dark, Legacies, Naomi, which just started, I remember, and Roswell, New Mexico. I was looking into this, why it was happening, and I guess what happened is Netflix previously paid them $1 billion for streaming rights, and that contract ended in 2019. And so, they were giving all their content to them, and Warner Brothers and CBS, who make CW, they want to put those shows on their platforms. You know what I mean? They want to put it on HBO Max, and they want to put it on Paramount Plus, their own personal library. But without Netflix and without foreign sales, all those things have dried it up, and they just can't afford making these shows anymore. So yeah, it's just different time. And then also, we all know Warner Brothers is going through some changes because Discovery bought Warner Brothers, and so they're making some changes over there. But yeah, it's crazy time, man. Crazy time for all these shows getting canceled.
I didn't watch any of those shows. So not one show did you mention that I was like,
not even the 44,050 show.
What a loss.
What a loss. Yeah, it's a sad time, but it's gonna be okay. We got more streaming services. We got more shows. We're just trying to barely keep up.
I can't even keep up. I had to cancel one.
We're living in the dark timeline, everybody. Okay.
I know.
That's
It's
right.
like we're having to make some real choices. It's like which streaming site am I going to keep? Oh, fuck me. I don't know.
Okay, so what was it? We were talking on text messaging earlier this past week about Lego Optimus Prime coming out, and
Yes.
Miguel, you were like, "Oh, I love I love it when nerds just spend money on bullshit." What did you say?
Poor financial decisions. Yeah. I mean, these things are so expensive.
Yeah, I mean, this thing is I think it's $169.
Which is a bargain as far as big Lego sets go.
That's not that bad, I guess.
It's not that bad, and I got I like $20 sets. I like them because they're really easy and cheap. And then I got my Batman set. It was $100. I was shocked by that. I was like, okay, I'm definitely gonna get that. But when I saw this as a 169, I was like, I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna miss out.
What would
on
be
it,
your
you know?
max, Luis? What would be your max? Like, what would be the set? What would be the set that takes you there?
Honestly, I'm gonna tell you what. I thought $100 was it, but after watching the YouTube video of this and reviews for this Optimus Prime, I think 169.99 might be my new limit. Okay, because I wasn't gonna get it, but after watching it, I'm probably gonna get it.
It looks pretty cool. That's cool.
It looks really cool. I mean, I, as a kid, used to get those Power Ranger Transformers Zords, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I loved how they transformed. I loved how they came together. And
they did not easily, by the way.
But it was fun, you know?
It was fun.
Yeah.
I used to work at Toys R Us back in the day, and I got a couple of Transformers at the height of the Michael Bay movies, and once you piece them together, though, like I'm afraid to, break them down again.
Yeah, well, I think because the Power Ranger ones I got were, I mean, back in the original Mighty Morphin ones, you know what I mean? So
the ones that click together.
They click together. Yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You feel so good when they click.
Yeah.
And this Lego set is like iconic Optimus Prime. You know, it's very clear. It's not the muddled look that you get from the Michael Bay stuff.
No, sure.
And the way that the guy transformed it, like it's functional. It works. It's pretty damn cool. And he was saying how they have very limited special pieces on it, and a lot of it is like the classic brick pieces. And I was like, all right, Mr. Fancy Man. But I don't know, man. And the guy. Okay, so what's really cool about this is this is a Hasbro product, Transformers, you know? It's two like different companies coming together, and I guess the guy who has designed this Lego, his name's Joseph Patrick. He designed this thing, and he used to work for Hasbro making Transformer toys. So he joined, I guess he's like now in Lego, and I guess he somehow, you know, had the experience. Maybe he said, hey guys, we should do this. But either way, I think that's why it looks so good, because he used to work on it too. Yeah, man.
It's fun. I'm glad every time, even if I'm like not a huge, like the biggest fan of whatever theme they go with, like the great thing about Lego is that they keep coming out with these, pop culture sets that, exclusive, you don't have to buy the whole world of Harry Potter or Star Wars or whatever. You've got these exclusive, like Transformer sets. You've got the Titanic. You've got the Ghostbusters car, like the original one and the new one. The Batmobile, like the legit one, the Tim Burton one. Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm here for it. I'm ready for the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang version. I would love that. And like, if that is what got me to work with Lego, I'm gonna design it one day. Yes.
Oh, that's a dream, dude. That sounds awesome.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
I love that for you.
Now I want that for you, dude.
I love that journey for you.
Yeah, let's get a campaign going. Let's get Lego.
Like the Aston Martin. The gadgets on that thing was so fun. Like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang with the extended wings, or the floaty, and the propellers. Like, it would be beautiful. The way they're doing Lego these days, they can make it shiny and what have you. I don't know.
Ed, I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
You asked Luis what his limit was. Now I got to know what yours is. What's your limit? Like, how much would you spend on Lego today, right now?
Today, like $250 would be my, but like it would have to be like highly premeditated. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I knew I was going. It wouldn't be like just like a spontaneous splurge. Like it would be something I ever saved for, or like got a bonus for, or got like half the money for a gift. Yeah, like I couldn't do it willy nilly. Like if I was just like out of pocket, 100 max. But like
that's reasonable.
To put it in perspective, 2 of my sets were 250. 3. No, okay. The highest I went was 300, which was the Tower Bridge.
Ed.
That was like a one-time deal when I was like in the oil field and single. You know what I mean? So much money.
So much money when you're single.
But like, so the Jurassic Park gate was 250.
That's a steal.
Ed, do you ever have like a day where you're like, ooh, money's a little tight today, and you look at those big ass Legos on your wall, and you're like, why did I do that?
No, I have never felt regret for buying a Lego.
That's good. That's good.
Because, like I said, it's usually premeditated.
That's right.
Like, even the small sets, like, I'm like, okay, I could afford this. Let me do this.
You know what? Sometime during the week, you should give us like a little tour of all your Legos on Instagram Live or something.
Yeah, gladly.
The people want to see it.
Like, this tells you my restraint. There was one set recently that I really desperately wanted for a couple of years. Was the Barracuda Bay, and Lego lovers will know what I'm talking about. It's basically a pirate Lego island, which pirate Lego is my shit. Like, I am collecting pieces so I can build like a mega pirate ship.
Oh.
And anyway, so this pirate ship, it was $200, and it could, it was a pirate island with like a saloon and everything, and you could take 3 pieces out and actually build a pirate ship separately of the island, and you pieced it together, like no problem. Really wanted it, and now it's discontinued.
Oh.
No.
So now you can only find it, starting from what I've seen, only at like $350. And like what sucks is last year I tried to be a good boy on my birthday, and I went for the Aston Martin DB5. I can't believe I'm going through all this. But anyway, I got the Aston Martin DB5, which is $50 cheaper.
Good for you.
And I was just like, you know what? I don't need it. It'll be around for a bit.
Yeah.
And then, like, of course, not even a year later, it's discontinued.
Wait, so how long? Oh, go ahead, Miguel.
No. I was just going to say, this even more so now, I've got a fire within me that's like, let's get Ed a job at Lego, okay?
I know.
You're gonna get all the discontinued shit because they're gonna be like, oh, here it is. It's right here.
Oh yeah, right here. We have so many.
You're our best
we just
employee.
like to keep it. No, you know what? I think that would be a dream job, working with Lego, just creating Lego sets. You know, I'm trying to think of you guys' favorite movies. Here's a Saving Private Ryan set. You know, here's
all the guts coming out. You know, the Lego pieces, like they can swing around. You know,
just like a Lego guy carrying his Lego arm around.
Yeah.
You know,
Perfect.
Yeah.
How long did like Lego pieces stay out? Like sets stay. You know, selling.
It really depends. It's not so like Pirates were discontinued. Like that theme was discontinued a long time ago, but like every couple of years they'll come out with a new pirate set. Just
like
kinda,
the Disney Vault, they'll just bust it back out again.
Yeah, but it'll be like an original set. It won't be like a callback, or it'll be like an improvement. Like Barracuda Bay was kind of like a new rendition of like an old pirate island, you know. So yeah, every couple of years, whereas Star Wars stuff, they tend to either cycle in and out or just renew every couple of years. And with Harry Potter sets too, you're starting to see they're reviving all the old Harry Potter sets to be more intricate and detailed and collectible, I guess. So
I know my problem with it right now is space. Like again,
like in the house.
In the house, like, yeah.
In some like existential.
I don't have the time or the space, or I don't know where to put it. You know, I took out my Gargantos, and it's in a box right now. I can't even display it. I can only display certain things because.
I mean, Sarah puts up with a lot, and I could be at like my max capacity until I get my spare room changed around.
Yeah,
you know. So, yeah, no
more
more big
shelving
sets right
here.
Yeah,
put a shelving unit and put some stuff there, but I don't want to look like I'm crazy Lego man. Bunch of Legos. Well, there are those people who have like pop figures. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How it's like just walls and like the whole wall is just pop figurines. I can't imagine getting into that, into that realm because they make so many variants of the exact same character. I would just be wasting so much money on getting pop figures that.
You're talking about Funko, like Funko Pops?
Yeah, I think I have one. I have one Funko Pop, and that's it. But I can't go down that obsession route.
Rabbit hole, yeah. Get a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
You need an obsession route, Miguel, for like some sort of toy.
No. No.
No.
I don't, it's bad
like
enough
video
that I play
games.
video games.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember a couple Christmases ago. I told Kristen, I mean, this was actually like 5 or 6 ago. I told Kristen, I want this game for Christmas. And I was telling her, I want this game. And my in-laws, they asked her, hey, what does Miguel want for Christmas? And she was just like, oh, he wants this video game. I didn't hear the end of that shit for a while, man. Like, my mother-in-law was just like, video games, huh? You know what I mean? And I was just like, I told Kristen after that, I was like, don't ever tell them I want video games anymore. Like, from now on, that's just a me or you thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because she was like Kyle as well. Like, Kyle was playing video game. Kristen, my wife's brother, yeah, he's playing video games a lot too. And I think Tammy was just like, my mother-in-law was just kind of like, you boys are grown. You know what I mean?
No.
And I was like,
Miguel,
okay.
I asked my in-laws one year way back when I first met them. It was like the first Christmas after we decided to have baby. And I asked them for Phantom Thread. And you know what? I got the Blu-ray of Phantom Thread now.
Yeah, I think I could ask Tammy for a movie and that would not be a problem. Because like everyone watches movies. You know what I mean? Something about video games, and especially if I was like, give me a toy, give me a Lego, you know what I mean?
Toy, yeah.
Brother, I would never hear the end of that shit. But I'm not super into it. I don't like I don't have this like affinity for like displaying, you know what I mean, a bunch of like collectibles or anything like that. To me, I just feel like, I don't know, it just feels like a waste of money for me. You know what I mean? I'd rather spend my money on something else.
We're all gonna die, right?
Yeah, that's true.
No, I mean, like, I'm agreeing with you. Like, who needs this pointless shit? But not really.
It's nice to have things that make you happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I look at it and it makes me smile. Like you were saying earlier, I have no regrets with my Lego, and neither should you about your games.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know. I love. There's certain things I like to get that's like within the realm. I have this. Obviously, if you go to YouTube and you see my, what's it called? Gauntlet.
Mug?
That's my mug. I also have my
beautiful
Captain America mouse pad.
Oh, nice.
And then also this new edition that I got here is so I have this iPhone case, and I always used to get a black iPhone case, but then I always lose it when I'm always trying to find it. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna find something with a design on it. What's a good design? What's like something I would like? And this is my Iron Man.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
And I have a Funko, and you want the pop socket, right? So I hate having a pop socket that blocks the design. So I was like, what can I get where the pop socket works with the design?
Beautiful.
And pop socket makes a Marvel like arc reactor, the thing that goes in his chest. And so I just placed it right where on my phone case it would go. Exactly. So there's an arc reactor printed on my iPhone case, which is like the Iron Man suit. And then I just put the pop socket on top of that. And I feel
that's awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah. That's a nice little thing. I like to have it around. It makes me.
While I'm thinking about it, you got me thinking about all these like Marvel things. When we moved into our house a few years back, and before Forrest was born, my son was born, I had like a man cave. And it's funny that my mother-in-law was like, you shouldn't play video games, you're an adult. But when we told her that I had a man cave, she bought me a ton of Batman stuff to put on the wall.
Yeah, I do remember that.
She was being really cool and was just like, she was like, you like Batman, so here's all this Batman stuff we bought for you. And it was really nice, that she thought of me like that. I ended up not putting much of it up because, again, like I don't do the whole display thing very often.
Yeah.
But now I have a son, so when he gets a little older, I'm gonna put some of that stuff up on his room, on his wall.
Yeah, that's an excuse, right?
There you go.
All right,
But
so
I
get
just
out of this
thought it
room.
was,
It's my turn to be in the...
I think it's funny. She was like, you shouldn't play video games, but she was like, here's all this Batman stuff.
Yeah.
Do you like Batman?
Shout out Tammy if she's listening. Shout out Tammy. I love you. Thank you for all the stuff.
There you
Also,
go.
Tammy, buy him video games. You know what I mean?
No. She's welcome to do whatever she wants.
You guys can play, Battle Royale together. She can run around.
I would love if my in-laws got into video games and they were like, let's play.
Yeah. Yeah, hop on. Squat up. Somebody you
That's
don't want
hilarious.
to squat up with is The Predator. We got a prequel coming out. It's crazy. It's coming out on Hulu August 5th.
That was the surprise of the whole trailer for me.
Dude, exactly. I watched the trailer and it's like only on Hulu. What? Are you serious?
dude.
Like a premium movie like that, like an iconic film just going straight to Hulu with Dan Trachtenberg directing it. I was like, okay, I'll watch it
it's
for
got
sure.
potential.
Yeah.
I don't love the Predator series at all. Like weirdly enough, I like that one with like Adrian Brody the best.
That one's it's pretty good.
I enjoyed that, and I don't know, maybe I just like missed the boat on it, but it was like when you compare it to movies like Alien, you think, oh yeah, Alien's better. But I'm always up for like a different kind of premise, and this one seems like a fun premise. Why not have them go up against some Native Americans?
The internet, Twitter especially, was just like, how is this gonna work? You know what I mean? They've got like bow and arrows, you know what I mean? Yeah. And the Predator has that like laser cannon thing from like a mile away he can shoot you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious to see how that plays out.
Well,
yeah,
it's
the other
not
thing
just
I saw.
like.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The other thing I saw that the people were talking about the most was that it just kind of looked a little cheap. It looked like a streaming service movie. I don't know if you guys picked up on that.
You got two people walking in the woods into a field. I don't know how you can pick up that much.
I wonder when we see the actual Predator, if he'll look,
yeah,
you know what I mean, pretty standard, or if it'll look a little janky.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't judge on that. I think they just kind of set up the tone, and you know exactly what it is when you see the three dots coming up on her head. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know how to...
Yeah, this is totally one of those movies you'd be glad was on streaming service, huh? As opposed to having to go see it in theaters. Like, what if we were like, oh, fuck yeah, we got to go to the theater to see the new Predator movie? You'd be like, ugh.
For this premise, again, I wouldn't be opposed. But
it's nice that it's on streaming, right?
The fact, like that Adrian Brody Predator, I did see in theaters. You know what I mean? Like
Ed, I've been getting a lot of Facebook memories this week. I don't know if you remember, like 13 years ago, you and me, we went and saw. No, I'm not going to embarrass you. Don't worry.
Okay.
You and me, we went and saw Terminator Salvation in theaters. We got like an early preview to go see that movie.
You did,
so for like a week straight, I talked about Terminator Salvation, apparently, because like every day I'm like, when is it gonna pass? Like, I'm getting all these notifications like, you really enjoyed Terminator. Fuck me. Okay, yeah, I guess I
did. We were hyped. We were hyped.
I haven't even seen that movie since it came out. Like,
no, because you know what? It was not good. It was not.
No, good. Christian Bale was good. You know.
Yep.
I think.
Oh, okay. It was the third one then. Right,
yeah.
No, the fourth one.
Fourth one.
And it was like Sam Worthington's big movie.
Right.
Like, Sam Worthington had a lot of big movies.
Yeah.
Now he's doing Avatar again. He must be so fucking grateful.
That's gotta be.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. He's got that paycheck. Like, James, thank you, man. Unless he dies in this one and the kids take over, wouldn't that be hilarious?
Oh gosh. Oh man, I hope not for him. We'll see. Too much whiskey. I'm going on too many tangents today.
You know who else? You know who else I want to see back in the action is Christopher Walken. He's joining Dune Part 2 as Emperor Shaddam. I don't even know how you pronounce his name.
Yes, I hope he says that.
Hello. I don't. So I watched the first Dune. I'm not a Dune head. But
you've used that phrase twice. I didn't think it was a thing, as if like people are just like, whoa, Dune head here, Dune head alert. Is that like a thing?
I don't know. It just sounds nice to say, doesn't it?
Dune head? Dune head. It sounds insulting.
Oh
no,
I'm not a Dune head, but
no. I'm like, well, you could be positive. I'm a Dune head, yeah. You know, I'm not like
like I'm a head full of sand.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of new to the whole Dune, universe. I saw the first one, and I didn't read the book. I'm here for the ride. I don't know much about it, but I think Ed, you put this in there. I mean, what's your connection
purely
with Dune?
Because same as you, literally. I never saw the old movie. I've never read the book. I was just excited for the Denis Villeneuve film. I thought it was really good. It was like one of my favorites of last year. And and one of the biggest things coming from that movie was I was excited for part 2.
Yeah.
That I knew inevitably would come. And also one of the more mysterious characters from that movie, like the person who set all of the action and conflict into motion, was the Emperor, who we didn't meet in the first movie. So it's that kind of like overhanging presence that we've yet to meet. And the fact that it's Christopher Walken under the direction of Denis Villeneuve, I think that's going to be an interesting pairing for sure, especially with what he did with like Stellan Skarsgård in the movie, and I just think it has a lot of fun potential. And I mean, Christopher Walken is, getting along a bit, so he's been doing a lot of just kind of silly movies. He's in that kind of stage in his career. But I think this will be fun, and he's going to be the father of Florence Pugh, who I know we're all a fan of.
Yeah.
She's going to be his daughter in this. So I think there's a lot to look forward to. I mean, on top of like the casting is great so far. So, and I'm here for the story. Like, I'm on board, and I'm going to hold off from reading the book until after the movie. But yeah, I just thought that's fun news.
I gotta go back and finish that first movie. I never finished it. You know what I mean? It's on HBO. I'll give it another shot. Because, I mean, you're right. Absolutely. Like, who doesn't want to see Christopher Walken? You know what I mean? I want to be ready to go. I want to make sure I'm
as a galactic emperor,
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's just like...
Hell yeah, dude.
I won't... Yeah, it's fun. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm excited for Dune Part 2, mostly because I felt like... It definitely felt like a Part 1. The first Dune, to me.
Like a prologue almost. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But so much happens, but yeah, it feels like a prologue. So if anything, I just hope that it delivers on its promise, and it's fulfilling in the way that Part 1 wasn't, but it kind of, at least for me, piqued my interest.
You know what I can respect, even though I wasn't like I wasn't a Dune head, okay? I can respect that this movie, like, kind of on paper, like, probably wasn't going to work. You know what I mean? Was not going to, like, reach the masses. You know what I mean? And so the fact, and if you think about, like, Blade Runner, you know what I mean? Most people really liked Blade Runner, but it also didn't do all that well. You know what I mean? When it was in theaters. So I think it's, mad respect to, they were able to make this Part 1 and actually, like, generate the hype needed to make that second one. You know what I mean? People, like, loved this movie. Yeah. So, I think for Denis, how do you say his name, Ed?
Denis Villeneuve.
I think for him, you know what I mean? This is a win. This is a solid, because it's a hard sci-fi, which is, like, where he does so well.
Yeah.
And for audiences to really latch onto it, shout out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One up.
Especially, movies like this that are big risk, big scale, and he's trying to go as practical as possible.
Yeah.
It's something to be excited for. And Denis Villeneuve has kind of proven himself with those elements before, like with Arrival, Blade Runner. His movies are always interesting and thought-provoking and visually stunning. So, it could be his greatest achievement yet, with any luck.
We'll see.
We will see. That's going to be Dune Part 2. When is that coming out? Do we have a date on that?
If I had to guess, it will be 2024 at the latest.
Let me look it up, dude.
Really?
Because they're starting production this summer, but it hasn't started yet. Unless they go for award season 2023.
I was going to say like Christmas or something.
Yeah.
So IMDb has it at October 20th, 2023, expected.
Ooh.
We'll see.
So that's true. I mean, that is pretty fast.
Yeah. Pending the next pandemic.
Another Part 2 that's coming out is Spinal Tap 2. We got some people from the whole gang coming back. Ed, I think, did you drop this one as well?
I did. Are you guys Spinal Tap fans at all?
I mean, I remember watching it so long ago that it's faded from my memory like an Inside Out.
Miguel, was that one you're familiar with or have watched?
I know it. I don't think I've ever actually seen it.
I put it on there because I know so many people love this movie over some of these guys' other movies, like Best in Show or whatever. This was like the very first of like mockumentary style movies. So And I only honestly just watched Spinal Tap for the first time recently, after so many years of being acquainted with the other ones. So I was just like, okay, comedy sequel, however many years it has been, like
Weren't we
30 odd
just
years.
talking about this
We were
last
just
week?
talking
You know what
about
I mean?
yeah.
It's a tough sell. You know what I mean?
Like
You want it to
Zoolander
work.
2 and Dumb and Dumber, like
Yeah.
not the prequel, but the other Dumb and Dumber 2.
Mhm.
What else? Anchorman 2. You know, these
Yeah.
things had a shorter return than Spinal Tap, and it's tough. You know?
Yeah. So I mean,
Like, who's
You gotta-
asking for it? You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Who was like, I really need Spinal Tap 2?
all
Never
of these
heard anyone
guys.
say that.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice to get a paycheck. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever.
you
Fuck
know,
it.
I'm
This
willing
would
to.
be another
I'm
one of
down to
those.
give it a chance.
Yeah, this would be another one of those movies that would benefit from director streaming. Just saying. It seems prime.
totally. I
for
mean,
that.
the Coming to America sequel did really well on streaming. You know what I mean?
Ah, that's a good.
Bill and
that's a
Ted
good-
Excellent Adventure, didn't that do the same thing?
It did.
The most recent one?
The third one, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of his movies, Miguel? Christopher Guest?
Like Best in Show, Waiting for Guffman, For Your Consideration.
All the mockumentaries. They're
yeah,
good. You should
no.
watch them. I like I mean, Best in Show is really funny for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, you said those Best in Show, Waiting for Guffman are really great.
I watched those in high school in theater.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I'll give it a
yeah.
shot.
If it's on
I'll add it to the
HBO, you know
list.
you're gonna watch it, right?
Hey,
Best
I
in
love
Show
HBO.
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
done. Easy peasy.
Moving on up, we got the return of Westworld season 4. There's a teaser drop with Ariana DeBose joining the cast. I dropped off in season 2 of Westworld. I saw
Same.
all of season 1, season 2. It felt like a situation where, when you're running too fast and then you just trip over yourself. It feels like that kind of situation for me. It was just like it was piling on a lot, and it just,
Yeah.
I kind of got, I don't know, I lost the heart of it all. As they were trying to put on so much like info up top.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I saw the teaser. It looked interesting. I like the idea that they're kind of like in the world now, is what I'm guessing. I don't know. What were your guys' experience with Westworld?
Same. I was really into season 1. The premise is really good.
Yeah.
And I think also, hold on, sorry. Sorry, I'm getting over cold. I think the premise is really solid, and I thought the season 1 ended on such a really good note. But kind of like you, Luis, we tried to watch season 2, and it just felt like really heady and wordy just to be kind of complex, I
Yes.
think because of Jonathan Nolan, you know what I mean? When a Nolan's name is attached to the project, you automatically feel like it's got to be like heightened.
Yeah.
It's got to be this big thing. I mean, think about Tenet. You know what I mean? Like, I still don't really understand Tenet all the way through. And that's kind of how I started to feel about Westworld. I was just like, I can't really keep up. I don't really understand the storyline. And then a third season came out, and now all of a sudden they're doing a fourth season, and it's just like, man, I am way behind.
Yeah.
And it's exhausting.
Totally.
I mean,
It is.
Yeah. I like literally the same as you guys. I finished the second season. The third one came out, and it's got such a great cast.
Mhm.
And like you said, that opening season had so much intrigue and stuff. But the second one, instead of offering any sort of resolution, and even in the tiniest sense, it just kind of made more questions, I guess, more frustrations. And
Yeah.
because it's so complex, you need to give the audience a little something to go on. I mean, it's a lot to ask, and I don't know. Have they announced that this is going to be the last season, or are they continuing?
I was asking Luis that earlier. It feels like this should be the last one because it's been so long since the third one.
It feels like it. Like if I knew there was like an end game in sight, like
Mhm.
maybe I could finally just like commit and finish it through. But as of now, like the very idea of getting into season 3 just feels exhausting and
Mhm.
frustrating.
Did you did you say you saw season 3? Or
Me?
no?
No.
Okay.
No, I did finish season 2, and I was excited for season 3, But then when it came out, it just felt like I was afraid to jump into it almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know, and maybe I will go back and watch it because again, I love the cast, and it is an interesting premise, but only if there is like a point to it all. I don't need like a bunch of fucking philosophical meltdowns in my mind every week just because I can't keep up with the show. But like, what am I? Am I a robot? I don't know, but it's yeah, I don't know. I guess it's one of those things that I might just wait to hear word of mouth and go from there. But
for me, sorry, go ahead.
No,
for me, one of the things that really made me jump ship pretty early was after like one or two reveals of, oh, this person's a robot, which is wild.
Yeah.
Then you play the game of, okay, who's a robot? You know what I mean?
Right.
And then it just becomes like a guessing game. You're watching every character, and I felt like I was just so like focused on all their little movements. Okay, is this person a robot? Is this person a human? And then I was just kind of lost in that as well. And I feel like once you use that one trick, you know what I mean? It becomes kind of tough to make it interesting or intriguing the second time or third time. Everyone
and they
might as well
actually
be
do
robots.
use that a lot. Yeah, they do play with that a lot throughout. I remember in the second scene too, you kind of question, and when you have that a harder time keeping a grip on what's real and what's not, or just like what's even happening, it's hard to keep an audience interest at that point.
I'm kind of with you, Ed. If we find out there's going to be like a finale or like a an ending, then maybe I could dedicate some time to watching it because at least it's a full product. But I'm not going to go watch a season and then be like 3 years later they're going to come out with season 5.
Yeah, like if this turns out to be like a 10-season deal, I'm out. If this seems like a show that needs to be ending within the next season or two, tops.
I agree. And actually, side note, when we watched a lot of Miss Maisel, Marvelous Miss Maisel, and halfway through that show, I was like, who probably could have done this role is what's her face from Westworld.
Oh, interesting.
Evan Rachel Wood. Evan Rachel Wood. I couldn't think of because she sings. Although this character doesn't sing, but you know what I mean. Like she's obviously very talented. I've never seen her do something funny, so I don't know if she's like got that vibe. But I just feel like she could totally have played Marvelous Miss Maisel.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, I could see that for sure.
They're a similar type. Although I like the girl that they went with. Sorry, Ed. What's up?
No. I was gonna say she was in Across the Universe. She sang in that too, right?
I think that was the first time I saw her in something. Was Across the Universe.
She was in that movie 13. Did you guys see that?
Oh no, I still haven't seen that movie. Yeah,
I would.
Tara loves that movie.
It's like Euphoria before Euphoria.
Oh, okay.
Way back in the early 2000s when she was, I guess, 13. But yeah, it's about these like spoiled teenagers who, just like do some really fucked up drugs and shitty things, and it's a rough movie to get through for sure. But that was the first time I saw her, and then Across the Universe.
Yeah, I like the concept. Yeah, I like the concept of them going out into the world. Like finally breaking out. That's why I thought season 2 was happening.
Season.
Did I thought they were? Yeah, I mean, I got to season 2 and they were still like struggling to get out. Was that the season of the maze? Or
yeah, because that's when they started like going into other worlds.
Oh,
like
that's right.
Like medieval Japan and all of that.
But they still didn't escape. Did they escape Westworld and go into civilian world?
I don't even remember anymore. And that's the worst thing about the show. It doesn't have a whole lot of rewatchability. You know what I mean? You don't feel yourself dying to go back and rewatch stuff. I may have rewatched season 1 twice, but that was it. Because like when those things unfold, the second time around, it's a little easier to grasp. But
and Anthony Hopkins was so good in that first season too. He was so captivating. I remember I was glued every time he was talking. Man. Like that one scene where he was outside, like having coffee, and they were like they're terraforming the ground behind him. I just remember that. Yeah, I mean, what a cool dude. I want to be him.
Yeah.
Um, so we're moving on up, talking about the new Pixar show. Pixar film. It's a 27th film coming out. It says 2023. Is that correct?
Yeah, because it's only in development.
Oh, right. Okay, so yeah. And it's just crazy to me how they keep finding ways to give these things emotions. Like,
Absolutely.
First it was like, okay, toys, bugs, I'm here for it. And then it became like, emotions. And then I was like, okay, that's pretty great. Now we're going into souls. And I was like, holy, okay. And now we're going into elements. And it's just like, damn, how far are we going to go into? Like, the next movie is going to be about cells. Who knows? Like, anyway, but you kind of get the idea. These, there's different elements. One's a hot-headed, one's like a water person. They're fluid. And they're trying to get along, right? Like, do elements mix is kind of the idea. They released some concept art, and it's supposed to come out in 2023. I don't know. I think it's mostly what I wanted to talk about was just how often they just get like emotions and soul and elements and like kind of create these stories out of them where it feels, I don't know. Am I tired of it? I'm asking myself. Like when I see it, I'm like,
no, because then you'll watch this movie and then you'll go, oh, they got me. You know what I mean? That's how I felt about. The emotions one. Why am I blanking on the name?
Inside Out.
Inside Out. I didn't really want to see it. I didn't really like the premise. I was just like, I get it. You know what I mean? But of course, like as I'm watching it, okay, it feels pretty good. And then of course, it feels like Instagram shows me this clip like once a week. But that stupid elephant bunny thing or whatever, Mr. What's his face? That scene where I see even Ed, you know what I'm talking about? Where they like,
I'm trying to think of his name. Yeah.
They're trying to fly up to the thing and he jumps off last second and then he gets like lost in the memory.
Okay.
Why am I on my phone? Why am I on my phone in the bathroom and the first thing in the morning, like sobbing because I feel so bad that this character is getting forgotten. You know what I mean? That's what Pixar does. You know what I mean?
That scene is the reason why I don't watch that movie again. I've seen the movie one time. And that scene wrecked me, and I was like, I'm never going to watch this movie again. I can't believe you're watching it pop up on Instagram all the time.
Bro, I'm telling you, I don't know what happened. It's in my algorithm, so now it just shows up. And so when he says, take her to the moon for me, you know what I mean? I mean, like, I literally, tears in my eyes, sitting on the toilet. Like, just, Miguel, hold yourself together. It's like first thing in the morning, please.
Why are you watching Inside Out on the toilet in the morning?
Were you listening to anything I just said, Ed? I just said I'm on Instagram, and it like comes up on like a reel.
Oh, gotcha,
you know I mean?
gotcha.
Yeah, it's just like a clip. I don't like sit there every morning like, ooh, Inside Out.
It's like, where's Miguel? Like the day has begun.
His name was watching Inside Out.
His name is Bing Bong.
Bing Bong.
That's right.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I like that we all paused
my favorite
for just a moment. I like that we all paused there just to be like, Bing Bong. All right,
Luis, for our thumbnail for this episode, can you just put a picture of Bing Bong?
I'm just gonna cry in the middle of the night while I'm putting this together, just in tears. Give me an hour before I come back to this thumbnail. Sure, I'll put them up.
Think about people that actually go to our YouTube to watch these videos. They're gonna be like, "The fuck? Why are they putting?" They're really losing the thread here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. That's tough.
Elemental.
I don't know.
Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it. I hope no one dies. That's what I mean. Turning Red was nice because it was a break from all this like sadness, like that, and obviously Up. I can skip the first like 10 minutes and get right to the story.
But that's the best bit.
I can't do that. That's too sad.
But it's beautiful.
I think it's not even the saddest one. You know what I mean? That's what we should ask our audiences. What's the saddest?
Pixar movies?
Next ranking.
I'm serious. I saw Bing Bong die or fade away, and I was crushed. I was like, I cannot see this movie again.
It's like saying goodbye to your childhood. It was rough. Yeah.
Yeah, forgetting.
Like in Toy Story 3, when Andy said goodbye to the toys.
It's a tough one.
That was tough.
Yeah,
we're gonna fall down this rabbit hole if we're not careful.
I know. Another rabbit hole you don't want to get caught into. Black Mirror's back. We got a new season. It's in the works. I like Black Mirror. It's great. It's another one of those shows where I can only watch one episode at a time. I don't binge it. obviously because they're shorter seasons. But I like watch them and then I let it sit with me. And
Absolutely,
then I'm like,
you can't just like back to back do these
No.
episodes. Mm-mm.
No, you can't. I didn't see the last season, but I don't know why. I just got caught up with life, but I should go back and watch. I know that they have like Anthony Mackie and Miley Cyrus and somebody else. But yeah, I mean, Black Mirror was awesome, and I'm excited for a new season.
Yes,
Yeah,
100%. I thought Ed was
Ed,
going
do
to
you
say
watch
something.
Black Mirror?
Yeah.
I'm not like a big advocate for it. I have watched a couple of episodes scattered throughout the seasons. I, for obvious
I'm
reasons, have
surprised
a
that
hard time committing.
I'm surprised you're not caught up. I mean, because each season's like 3 episodes or something like that, or
Yeah.
like they're not, or
Especially
however many.
the first couple seasons because it was like a UK show.
Yeah,
Right.
They
yeah.
kept it real tight.
It just can be so rough, and life is hard enough. And
I see.
yeah, I do appreciate them, I guess, for what they are. I guess the ones I've seen have been like the darkest of the lot, and I can only indulge in that so much.
Have you seen
I
San
think I've, like-
Junipero?
Oh, Ed, you would love that one.
You
Which
should
one's
watch
that
that
one?
one.
Who's the star?
I don't know who's. I don't
She's
think
in
they're.
Terminator. She was in the newest Terminator. Her name.
The main
But
one.
it's
Mackenzie
about, like,
Davis.
it's
Okay.
about like when you go into retirement or whatever, or maybe when you die.
Don't watch it. Don't spoil it. Actually, just watch
Oh,
it
okay.
because it's.
I was just
It's
going
a
to give him
good-
the premise, but you're right.
I know, but when you watch that episode, you're like, wait, what's happening? And then it kind of it does this nice like slowly reveal of that episode of what the story is.
Sure.
It's a
Yeah.
good one. Yeah, I
did-
think because if you have a hard time with their stories ending not great, which is understandable, I think this is a good one to like get a dose of that Black
That's-
Mirror, but also not be in a sad mood.
That seems
Yeah.
to be the episode that most people talk about. I mean, especially when that season came out, that was like the number one choice. People loved that episode.
Because it wasn't
Yeah.
incredibly sad. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I think
Yeah.
that's why.
It's got heart.
Yeah, it's got
There was
heart.
one that I had always heard about that people raved about was the like faux Star Trek one
Yes.
with Jesse Plemons.
I forgot about
Uh.
that one. Yeah, that one's pretty good too. That
Okay.
season's pretty good.
But like there are a few that if I like looked into it like on the episodes, I would probably like pinpoint like, okay, I would give that one a watch. So I'll keep an eye out for that. If I can stomach
I'll tell
it
you what,
and squeeze it in, I'll watch it.
I'll put a list together for you, Ed. I'll give you like 5 episodes to watch.
Yeah.
Okay?
Do that. That would give me more.
You don't have to watch
incentive.
the whole show. You know.
No. I mean, yeah. I mean, I saw quite a handful of the earlier episodes, UK ones that were like really fucked up.
Mhm.
I don't know how they fare these days. Like I saw the Bryce Dallas Howard one,
Yeah.
and
Did you
That
see
was
the John
another
Hamm
one.
one?
no,
The John Hamm. It was called White Christmas.
I don't-
think it's season 2. That's a good one.
I don't think I did. No,
But
but
do San Junipero first, I would say.
okay, challenge
yeah.
accepted.
No man, I like these. Just looking through IMDb at all the ones that I've seen in the past. Yeah, great stuff, good stuff. Man, I feel like we could just make a list every day. Top Black Mirror, top saddest Pixar movies, top Legos.
That's the content people want. You know what I mean?
I know. We're gonna change your Punch Drunk Nerd to top 10 something. The top 10.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if I remember when you got the show came out. I was talking to with you guys. MODOK.
Mhm.
It came out on Hulu and it's canceled after 1 season, which was a
Yikes.
bummer just because of I liked the animation style. I like what's it called? The people who were in it. It was God.
Patton Oswalt.
Patton Oswalt and John. Oh my God, Sonic, and
Were you gonna
his
say
name,
John
John Ralphio?
Ralphio? Was that who you were gonna say?
yeah, John Ralphio and Sonic. I
It's
love him. Ben Schwartz. Oh my
Ben Schwartz.
God. Yeah, Ben Schwartz. Love Ben Schwartz. And yeah, it got canceled, and it's really bummer because it was just like it's a type of style that we don't see in TV a lot. That type of like stop animation, and they did such a
Yeah.
good job of making it looking really nice and clean. And it's a character we don't see a lot. And they did a really fun take with him of not taking him too seriously. And so it's kind of a bummer, but I think Marvel's kind of weaning off of all these other like putting their shows
Sure.
on Hulu and want to
Yeah.
just put Disney Plus, but
Yeah.
you know, yeah, I don't know. I'm bummed about it, so I wanted to just mention it. And if you haven't seen it, I would say check it out. It's like you could just have it in the background, and it's like I said, it's a cool little animation style that I think takes a lot of effort and time. Yeah. Also, another story I saw here was how Elizabeth Olsen never met the Illuminati.
This blew my mind when I read this today.
It's crazy. And then I thought about like that can't be right. There must be a time when they like faced off. And then I thought about it. I was like, no, all the shots were singles of like them facing each other. They were never like I don't know,
together.
So
yeah,
I thought that was crazy. There's this other one, okay. What is it? John Watts for a new Star Wars series. So what was it? Not Variety, Vanity Fair. Was it Vanity Fair?
Yeah.
They had a big article released, and they with Star Wars, and they're playing with Disney Plus and all this other stuff. And in that article, extensive article, there was all this new information. And they talked about John Watts, who directed the trilogy for Spider-Man, that he's in talks for a new Star Wars series. Did you put this, Miguel, or was it you, Ed?
It must have
It
been
was
Ed.
me. It was
It's
me.
Joe
'cause
Blow,
it came.
so it's Ed.
It came
You a
with
Joe
a bunch
Blowhead,
of new.
Ed?
No, it was just like the first site where I saw it come up, and then I always go cross-check it at another one. But at that point, I was just like, okay, that's a talking point. I just thought, sorry, that's a talking point.
Yeah.
There you go.
I thought it was a joke because John Watts had just walked away from fucking Marvel because he was so tired. And poor baby is going to Star Wars instead for the same studio. So, I mean, come on. So, whatever. Another Star Wars series. We'll see what it is. I have no thoughts beyond the fact that, John Watts obviously coming off the success of Spider-Man. I mean, okay, interesting.
The only thing I saw trending about it was that it's going to be I put this note in here, that it's going to be like a Goonies-esque storyline. It's like a Star Wars. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've never seen Goonies, but I know that it's like a popular 80s movies. And the fact that it is like a youth film, you know what I mean? And he just did the Spider-Man, the Homecoming series, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where they're all in high school or whatever. So maybe he's got like a good eye for capturing the youth.
Yeah,
that's always fun.
It'll be interesting. They've got a couple, so many Star Wars
It's too much to
stories
keep
set
up with.
in development. Yeah. One thing that this article did bring to light, or kind of just talk about a little further, was the development of the Advocate, or not the Advocate, the
Acolyte.
I'm sorry, Advocate. And yeah, I advocate for the Force. Okay. No, so the Acolyte is supposed to take place preceding the events of the Phantom Menace and how people like Palpatine came into power and like right under the nose of the Jedi, and how just like the Galactic Empire even came to fruition through these events. Like it's going to be kind of like a political thriller almost. Was the description in the article with the showrunner, who I don't have in front of me. But yeah, I mean that's the thing is like they've got all these crossing timelines now, so you just hope that they don't overstep and start just like basically overwriting canon just for the sake of making another TV show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Acolyte stuff. They're doing this huge push right now, with, oh my god, it started off with the literary stuff. There's all these books. Gosh, I had the book right there. I can't think of the name, but it talks about like 100 years before, or a lot of years before Phantom of the Menace, and it was when the Jedi was ruling, and they're creating all of this stuff. I mean, it's almost like a literary campaign that's happening It's almost like Marvel, but for books, where they're having like releasing all these books, and then they're releasing kids books, they're releasing comics, they're releasing spin-offs. They're doing like what you're seeing with Marvel TV shows, but in book form, and they're using all of that stuff, I think, to help dictate the Acolyte. And this was something that they like got a bunch of people who wrote a bunch of Star Wars, like truthfully, like fan fiction, brought them to Skywalker Ranch, said, "Hey, we're bringing you to the forefront of Star Wars, the very beginning in the early years. You're going to help shape it." They just shaped out this whole thing, and it's like a real campaign. I think people have been saying that Kathleen Kennedy's been pushing to have some sort of like separation from George Lucas. So I'm curious we'll see how it goes, but it is a lot of stuff. It's a lot of content. It like with Disney Plus, it seems like as we finish off a Marvel show, you get a Star Wars show. You finish off a Star Wars show, you get a Marvel show. I mean, think about it. We just had Moon Knight, and then we're going to Obi-Wan. In the middle of Obi-Wan, we're going to have Miss Marvel. And then once Miss Marvel finishes, something else is going to happen. And then it's going to be She-Hulk in August. It's just like, it's definitely doing the streaming thing where you don't have an opportunity to cancel your subscription because every month you have to come back.
You have to watch.
Yeah. Before Moon Knight was Boba Fett, Yeah.
Oh, dude, exactly. There's Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
But and I mean, the ultimate test, isn't it? Fuck.
Poor Ed had to cancel his Criterion Collection subscription so he can keep Disney Plus. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you happy, Disney? I could be like going back and watching like classics. And you're ruining my life with these subpar Star Wars fucking adventures. But here we go.
Say it with your chest, Ed. God dang.
The sad thing is I'll watch all of it.
I know you will.
Yeah, because I'm a slut.
You're a little slut. Yeah, I was just about to say.
Yeah.
So, man. Well, we're gonna keep talking about Star Wars. We're gonna keep talking about Marvel, and Marvel is gonna keep keeping Stan Lee into the Marvel universe. I think Miguel, you dropped to this in.
Yeah, I was reading about this today. So yeah, this was it was just trending earlier today. Stan Lee's coming back to the Marvel universe, and it was just like, oh man, I'm not a fan of this. I don't like when, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's the same when, like, for example, like a rapper dies. And then there's like this back catalog of songs that weren't ever released, probably for a reason. And then the studio is just like, we have to put all this together for an album. And then guess what? There's still some more. So we're going to put all that together for an album. And then just really milk it until you just cannot do anything else. And it just kind of feels like a slap in the face. Now, at the same time, if there's like family members benefiting from it, you know what I mean? That's nice. You know what I mean? Okay, they can kind of continue that revenue stream. But for like Stan Lee, it's like he was estranged, I think, from his family. And it just feels like this is just like a recognizable face, and they just want to keep plastering it all over Marvel. And it's like, Stan Lee was a human being, and he passed away, and maybe that's it. We don't need to keep like trudging up all this stuff. Drudging? I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, totally.
I don't necessarily want to see Stan Lee in every Marvel movie from now on. You know what I mean? It's like, it was nice for a while that he was able to do that, and then once he passed, it's like, okay, that moment is gone. It would be like if they brought Chadwick Boseman. They're so like, we're not going to do Chadwick Boseman. We're not going to recast him. We're not going to CGI him. We're not going to this one because he was so monumental and this and that. And it's just like, but you're going to turn around and do the same thing for Stan Lee. You know what I mean? You're going to keep bringing him back unnecessarily. So I don't know. I don't know why. It rubbed me the wrong way when I read this earlier today. So
I did read this article, and it did say that here it says, however, this new deal does not necessarily pave the way for the return of Stan Lee's cameos in movies, at least not the ways fans traditionally knew them. It's unclear if the public even has an appetite to see Lee digitally resurrected as actors such as Carrie Fisher or Peter Cushing were in certain Star Wars movies. It does give them permission to use his voice likeness signature for like, let's see, like in theme parks, cruise lines, merchandise, toys. You know what I mean? So I think that's what they're gonna use it for, and not for like digitally put them in movies to be like, hey,
Yeah,
that's classic. Sorry, go ahead, Ed.
I was just gonna say, like, if it's purely just for a way to celebrate him, great. But like you said, I don't need to see him in every Marvel movie. That's not an essential thing. And if anything, they celebrated him in a Marvel movie whenever he did pass.
Mhm.
I can't remember what that first movie was, but
It was Captain Marvel. I want to say they did a thing for him in the
oh
Marvel
really?
intro. I want to say.
Yes. So it was like,
Oh yeah,
okay,
yeah,
they they did the thing for him, kind of thing. So like again, if it's just like a celebration of him, but yeah, when it comes into all merchandising and stuff, it gets a little gray area, doesn't it?
yeah. It does. I mean, I thought the same thing too. When I first saw the headline, I was concerned. I'm like, God, I don't know if I want to see him digitally put into
Yeah,
movies. It seems like it's becoming more like a gimmick or shtick, and
yeah,
I'm happy that they're not going, at least making it clear that they're going in that direction. There's a chance that they'll have some respect towards it. It is kind of
yeah,
sad to hear like how it all went down. At the end of his
Yeah,
life, and
yeah,
how he
yeah.
was kind of taken advantage of. I was like, that's so fucked up. He was like a king, and I can't believe that he was treated in such a
So
way.
poorly.
Yeah, I wish that he was protected more, especially since he gave us the
yeah.
opportunity for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I I do, to wrap this news up segment covered up that we have here. Um, there's a trailer for a game called Multiverse by Warner Brothers Game, and it's basically a like 2v2 free to play fighting game where, in the same feel of like Smash Brothers, where you have
Hmm.
different like famous characters fighting each other. They're doing the same thing, but it's free to play. So stuff like Fortnite, where you don't have to pay for anything, you can just jump in and play with friends online. And they're utilizing their Warner Brothers roster. Ed, I'm sure you haven't seen anything on this, but I'm going to read off the characters that so far have been confirmed. We have the Iron Giant, Taz,
Ooh,
Velma,
okay.
Arya Stark,
Hmm.
Batman, Bugs Bunny, Finn the Human, Garnet, Harley Quinn, Jake the Dog, Rain Dog, Shaggy, Steven Universe, Superman, Tom and Jerry, and Wonder Woman, with more to be revealed soon. Um,
And they
yeah,
fight?
that's a thing. They fight, so
Yeah.
it's just like you get to pick a character and you get to go online. It's going to be for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. I wish it was on Switch, but you go on there and you just like 2v2 fighting, and you pick a character. They all have their own special moves, so you can team up
Yeah.
Batman and Shaggy together, or what, Batman and Bugs. Um, and yeah, and you can sign up
What?
now. There's the open beta is available July, but you can sign up for the closed alpha right now if you want to participate. Um, I feel like kind of intimidated by something like this. Like I hope I get paired up with the bad people, because I'm not good at those like brawler
No.
games. I know a
No,
lot of friends who
no.
always want to pull out like Smash Brothers, and they know all the moves, and I'm barely hanging on, doing the
Yeah.
same like special move on Kirby. We're just
Button
sucking things
smashing,
up.
bro.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm a button smasher, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to not be
Yeah.
a button smasher, but it's intimidating. But it looks cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It seems fun. I like that it's free to play. I'm sure there'll be stuff you have to buy for sure. But I don't
Yeah.
know,
You
Miguel. What do
unlock
you
those
think?
characters.
I'm asking Miguel because he plays video games, and Tammy loves that about him.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No, I'll definitely play it. Okay. And it's free. It's free, so they don't have to waste any
free.
money on it.
Yeah.
Until you have to unlock characters. I wonder, like, if it really will turn out like the new Space Jam, and
Yeah.
they just like have literally every character like Alien and I think I never watched the new Space Jam, but apparently that Alex from The Clockwork Orange showed up. Can you imagine if
I
you
did
were
hear
fighting
that.
as him against Bugs Bunny?
Bugs is in trouble.
Yeah, it's gonna get weird and fucked up.
You should watch it.
just
You should watch it, Ed. I watched it with Forrest. He seemed to like it.
Oh, really?
I heard it was bad.
No, it's not great, but
Yeah.
the kid liked it. So
The kid liked it. Okay.
Well, I'm about to show Lily Chippendale on Friday, so
there you
we'll
go.
go from there. That seems like it's going to be the same kind of thing, but with Disney. almost.
I'm about to show myself that movie this Friday. No kids.
It's gonna be good.
Well, that's kind of like all the news we have this week. And again,
So much news.
There's a lot of news. A lot of stuff came out this week. We're not reviewing anything, but if you want to check out our reviews, go online. We're there, and we got some stuff there. So we're gonna roll into our final segment. What are we into? And we're gonna hit it up with our good old friend Miguel. What are you
That's
into?
me.
Man? Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why. I was just trying to throw a list together because I really have only been focused on really one thing.
Yeah.
I put the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial on here, but I'm not really keeping up with it. I was just curious. I wanted to hear your thoughts if you guys had been keeping up with it at all.
I was on it for a bit where, like, in the first couple days, I was on it really is what TikTok got me in. TikTok was giving me these like quick videos, and then I was like, oh, okay. And then I got into YouTube and watched like a 10-minute video about like a certain lawyer, and yeah, I mean, I haven't been keeping up with it in the past week, but I was also surprised, like, damn, this is still going. I thought this was done after like a week. I saw like a headline on YouTube. It was like day 18. I'm like, shit.
Yeah,
it feels so much longer.
Defamation suits are apparently notoriously hard to win, as I understand it. So that's why, I mean, they're probably trying to bring every shred of evidence or whatever to it.
SNL did a really good sketch on it this week. They opened their last episode with it. Sarah and Ed, they were telling me to watch this last episode of Saturday Night Live. And so I finally did. Oh, I hear some doggies.
Yeah, I'll mute while you're talking. I'm sorry.
But no, it was they did a really good parody of it, and that's really all I've kept up with. Other than kind of like you, Luis. Like I've seen, the clips. I see all the clips, and then of course like especially on Reddit. I mean, I think maybe on Twitter as well. The internet does seem very like pro Johnny Depp now and anti Amber Heard, and Reddit especially because like Reddit you can get like a lot of like. I don't want to go in the rabbit hole, but like a lot of like male opinions, like you know what I mean, and so they tend to kind of like jump on the bandwagon, if you will. So that's really all I'm really seeing is Amber Heard sucks and Johnny Depp rules. But I'll say this, man, I do kind of feel bad that Johnny Depp got all that shit and had to lose all this work, and it's like Johnny Depp is one of the greatest actors, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd like to see him in more things. So if this like clears his name, quote unquote, or whatever, and he can start being in things again. Okay, cool. Kind of like Matthew McConaughey coming back for that renaissance. Like let's get more Johnny Depp movies.
Yeah, I've been seeing the trend where people on TikTok will take Amber Heard's interviews and just like recreate them to show like how ridiculous her statements are. Yeah. But it's a tricky thing. It's like I don't know.
It's oversaturated right now, and it's hard to. And I mean, if you actually just watch the fucking court proceedings, it's boring as hell.
Absolutely.
So it's really just people, like you said, editing it down to make it spicier than it actually is. Because like a lot of the revelations that came out were things that I had read in the exclusive that Johnny Depp did with, I want to say, Rolling Stone, like a year or so ago. And I guess people just like stopped reading, so they have to literally put it on screen for people to take notice or whatever. But yeah, I mean, like you said, it's really hard to judge it. But like everywhere you look, it is there. So I mean, yeah, I watch
it trends
the
every day.
thing.
You know what I mean? It's always on like one of the highest trends on Twitter. And I always click on it because I'm like, oh, today's the day where they're like, and done.
Yeah.
No, it's just more commentary. It's like, never ending. And here we are talking about it. So I'll wrap up what I'm doing. Just to briefly mention, I'm flying through Degrassi. I mentioned it last week. Ed, you kind of ran off, I think, when I was talking about Degrassi last week, or maybe it was Miss Maisel. But I just am addicted to this show now. I thought Ed was leaving again. I was like, you son of a bitch. It's just like I said last week, it just like really captures youth. It captures like a time in my life when I lived in Canada and went to high school. So it just feels it's real easy watches. I want someone else to watch it with me. In fact, thank God Kristen is. I told Kristen the other day we should do a Degrassi podcast, me and her, where we just like break down the whole show, and watch all the way through, even to the new ones. But yeah, if you guys are into it, give it a shot.
Is this the one with Drake?
Yes. And what's hilarious is it's Drake long before he became Drake, especially in the first seasons. You know what I mean? Like, as he gets a little older, you start seeing, oh yeah, that was like Drake right before he blew up. But like when he's so young, he just looks like, you know what I mean? Like puberty hasn't quite kicked in yet. He's got this like, you know, messy fro, and you're just like, and he's acting in these situations where you're just like, I could never see Drake doing any of this now. You know what I mean? Like, he's such a megastar that it's like the things that his character gets, you know, storylines for his character, you're like, Drake would never do that. Like, one episode was like, you're doing drugs? And I was like, okay, you know what I mean? Settle down. Oh, are you drinking alcohol? Drake threw a party, a high school party. This is one of the moments where I stepped out and I was like, this is not believable. He threw a party and everyone showed up and danced and had a good time, but one character was like sneaking booze and getting drunk, and everyone was like, you're drinking? I was like, okay, losers. Like, what did you think high school parties were? I don't know.
What are you trying to do in high school if not get drunk for the first time? Or you know, when your parents
what's crazy is, like, when I say Degrassi and you think, okay, it's like just like a high school teenage drama, it's a little bit soap opera-y, you know what I mean? But it's not just like typical things like, today, you know what I mean? This one character's like, I'm fat and I'm sad, and one character's like, I'm drinking too much. And these are kind of like high school problems or whatever. But then, like, the very second episode of the entire show, this girl almost gets like, she like gets creeped on. Like, this guy meets her at a hotel room. You know what I mean? He's like 30. You know what I mean? And it was just like, bro, this is episode 2. Like, they're like
coming in hot. Yeah,
you know what I mean? They just did like a rape episode. You know what I mean? And it was just like, Jesus Christ. And then they're gonna do the shooting because obviously, like, Drake, his character gets shot. Ed, did you know this?
Oh, he gets in a wheelchair. Huh?
Exactly. And so he's a part of like a school shooting or whatever. And it's just like, they handle such heavy topics, and they're not afraid to shy away. So I don't know. I'm talking about it again this week. I know it's silly, but we're having a good time watching it.
How many seasons of Degrassi are there?
Bro. Okay, so Degrassi was originally a show in the 80s, and that had X amount of seasons. I don't know. Degrassi, the Next Generation, the one that we're watching, I think that ran until like 2013 or 2014. It has like 15 seasons.
Holy shit, I didn't know that.
And they're on a new one now. Like the next generation or whatever they call it.
That's not what it's called, is it? The next generation?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But some of the characters from the next generation are now like the adults in the new show, and that's a trend that they did with this Degrassi as well. Like the 80s Degrassi characters came back and they were the adults.
Okay.
Yeah. So you get a little bit of the backstory. No, I don't know. They're quick 20-minute episodes. What I love about these also is whatever the problem is, they'll present it, the character will go through it, and then the episode will basically just end. Like, once they've learned their lesson or whatever, the episode will just like cut straight to credits. There's not like the extended moment where everyone forgives them or anything like that. It's like, it's really concise, and I love that shit, because I'm like, I'm not trying to like watch this same storyline for 9 episodes, you know what I mean?
Right. It's like Adventure of the Week, where it's just like a different story every week, where you don't have
and it is sorry, I think I heard my kid. It is a little soap opera-y, you know what I mean? But that's what's kind of fun about it. It's just like, I roll my eyes sometimes like, oh, here we go. I like to try to guess to see where the episode's going, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
See what kind of bullshit they get into. Anyway, I've talked about Degrassi for 2 weeks in a row now. We actually just started season 3 today. So
tune in next week when we talk about season 3 of Degrassi.
Season 3, dude, and because I'll be done with it too. Man, they fly by. Like, all of a sudden you're like, oh, this season's done? But no, we're having a good time with it. And finally, I'm playing a video game right now that I've played before, but I was just looking for something new to go back into.
Yeah.
I'm playing Mass Effect Andromeda. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Mass Effect franchise overall.
Yeah.
Andromeda was the worst one. That's what the internet will tell you. That people hated. They hate this game. And this was actually my first introduction to Mass Effect. I bought the game when it came out. Even among the bad reviews, I was like, purchase. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I had a pretty good time with it. I like let some of this stuff go because I was just like, oh, it's cool that you get to like travel this galaxy and explore all these planets and settle or colonize them. But but I haven't played it in a while, and I went back to it this week, and man, it really does feel bad. Like
Oh,
looking on it
really?
now, yeah, it's especially playing it on the PlayStation 5. Like the thing that most people, it was the facial animations that most people talked about being really
Yeah.
awful. They have these like sleepy dead eyes, you know what I mean? And so they'll have these like emotional moments, quote unquote, and you're just
Uh-huh.
like, this looks terrible. You know what I mean?
Wait,
And
did you finish
I don't.
it or no? You
No,
just
no, no,
like
no. I just started it, so I'm really only on like the first like. I think I've only put in like 4 hours or something.
yeah.
It's basically just started, but I don't think I'm gonna do it. And I started playing because there's talk that they're gonna bring back Mass Effect and they're gonna bring back the original series because obviously Andromeda sucked so much ass, so
Yeah.
they're going back to the roots. So I was excited about that. I kind of want to play those games, and so I thought, oh, I'll just play Andromeda for a little bit, kind of remind myself of that world. But man, I am not having a good time. I'm straight up not having a good time. You know what I mean?
Straight up not having a good time. That's
This
what's
is
up.
this is definitely one of those games that I would not recommend, like to Ed. Like I love recommending video games to Ed because I'm like, Ed, you would love these. You know what I mean?
Okay.
This game is not fun. It's
Noted.
clunky too. It's just like it's a lot of like you got to go do this, got to go do that kind of thing, and
Yeah.
it's just
I
like
hate that stuff.
moving around the worlds is not very easy or friendly. The combat itself is kind of fun. Like the shooting is great.
Yeah.
And then like the characters have these things. They have like some sort of like upgradable biotech or something. So then they move around kind of cool in combat. And that's basically the only good thing about the games is getting into those fights. But they can, yep, they go. But they can also just. I don't know, just get a little repetitive. I don't know. The one thing that I remember about this game, this is so silly. This is one of those games where you can have like romances with the other characters. Like if you choose the right path, you know what I mean?
Oh,
The right
okay.
like the right dialogue whenever you're presented with those options. If you choose the right one, you can have like romantic relationships with someone. And when I tell you, it is so gross and weird. Like when you're playing a video game and all of a sudden you're like, you selected this option and now they're gonna fuck. You're like, oh, this is. I feel
With their
dirty,
sleepy
you know what I mean?
eyes that they're having. They're just
Bro.
like-
With yes, and then of course they're like, oh, she's naked, and you're like, this is weird. I don't like it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I don't know. It's
They're,
and
Nerds
yeah.
are, nerds are weird.
and exactly. On my second playthrough, I remember I was like, I'm gonna fall in love with everyone. I made him fall in love with guys. I made him fall in love with girls. I made him fall in love with aliens. And it's just
aliens.
hysterical.
Really? You can
Yeah.
do that? You can fall in love with
Hell yeah,
aliens?
dude! They're weird. They're weird looking aliens too. So I'm just sitting there thinking, like, I was like my own little Captain Kirk. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
was just
yeah,
going
yeah.
around slanging D. And other than
Wow.
the combat, that was the only other goofy, fun thing that I liked about the
Yeah.
game because it was just like, this is asinine. Don't play it.
Well, you know,
Strats, and that's
Strong
me.
opinions.
yeah, I'm curious. I always love when you get to like choose decision making in video games. It's always fun, you know.
Yes. My favorites
had a
are
hard
like
time
when you
with-
can choose like a good path or a bad path. You know what I mean? Like the oh gosh, what's the name of those games? Infamous for the PlayStation.
Mm.
You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? Like your whole story would come down to, are you a good person or a bad person? And
Right.
kind of like Red Dead Redemption. You know what I mean? Your character is doing that. I like those choices. I don't like when it's like, you know what I mean? Like Cyberpunk tried to make you do that where they thought, oh, the whole story is going to change it depending on the choices you make. And
Yeah.
it ended up not really being that. Sorry, I went on a tangent. Take it away.
They have those. I think I played one of them, but they had, God, like a Batman game like this. Let me think.
Oh, like a
Here.
Telltale game?
Yeah, like a Telltale game. That was fun, just because I get the feeling I was Batman. This required too much effort too. Like I won't feel like I'm gonna fuck up too much, you know, in those games. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I won't play Mass Effect Andromeda, but
Yeah, when the new
yeah.
one, but when the new one comes out, we'll play that one, okay?
We'll play that one. Okay, I'm down. Mr. Edward Ball, I see a couple that you've got.
Ooh,
Oh.
Ed.
Well, Miguel, there's a gross oversight. You did see something else this week.
Oh yeah, you did. I thought we were going to talk about that.
I didn't want to bring it up because I didn't want to take too much time or whatever.
Okay, I will not say a single thing. You just go ahead and just tell us your thoughts of Everything Everywhere All at Once. You finally saw it. I'm gonna mute myself so I don't say anything stupid. Go ahead.
I feel like I'm gonna let you guys down a little bit, and that's not my intention, okay? But so last week I had a day where my wife had flown back to Houston and my boy was in daycare. So I took a little, I played hooky. I went and saw a movie, and that experience was a ton of fun. I don't do a lot of solo movie trips anymore, and obviously we had talked about Everything Everywhere All at Once, and it was still playing in theaters. So I was like, okay. And I thought I was going to be like the only person in the theater, maybe like one other guy, but it was so surprising. It was like 10, 12 people were there, like in the middle of the day on a Friday.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And I will say that I was, and I kind of texted you guys this already, but I was like the only one laughing. Like anytime something funny happened, I was definitely the only one laughing, and I was laughing loud. So shout out to Everything Everywhere All at Once. That did get me. The humor was really strong. And Kristen actually brought up a good point that I'm going to bring up in a minute, so don't forget that. But I was a little lost in the story. I didn't quite get the overall picture right away, and it was just like, we're here, we're there, and I care about this character and her laundromat, but all of a sudden she's in these other universes, and then it's like I'm just having a hard time trying to find like what's the thing I need to hold on to throughout. You know what I mean? And what I told you guys is I went to Alamo Drafthouse, and this is just for me. I ordered a sandwich, okay, and then it never came. So like an hour and a half into the movie, all I could think about was like, and maybe it was less than an hour and a half because I don't know how long the movie was. But I was like, during the middle of the movie, I was just like, where the fuck is my sandwich? I'm so hungry. I came to Alamo.
That's all you're thinking about is the sandwich. Yeah.
So I could eat. Yeah. So then I kind of got lost in the sauce on that. But what really did it for me, and so here's the thing. I hate overhyped movies. I hate when people, like you guys, were talking so highly of it, and I was really happy that you guys loved it. But the entire time I was sitting there going like, is this the scene that I'm supposed to be really into? Is this the moment that I'm supposed to be really invested in? And I just wasn't feeling those moments. And then I felt like, damn, I really shouldn't have, you know what I mean, listened to the hype. I should have tried to see it a lot sooner. And I was kind of mad at myself. Yeah, I was kind of mad about I'm mad at myself about that. But then the ending. Hang on one second. Sorry, I'm still getting over this cold. But then the end was so beautiful, and that was the moment when all of these things started to make sense for me. I kind of saw the through line all the way at the end of the movie, and it was like, maybe on rewatch I'll appreciate it more. But yeah, like when she is talking to her daughter and she has a line where she says something like, you know, maybe just for like a few seconds, everything is supposed to make sense. And that was when it kind of clicked with me the rest of the movie. I was like, okay, I didn't really need to understand the whole movie. I just had to understand the journey and then the end point, you know what I mean, for them. Yeah. And yeah, I teared up, you know what I mean? It was a really good moment. You know, it's something that you kind of think is cliche, but they handle it so well, you know, that, you know, love can, traverse all of these multiverses or whatever. And it was good. And the fights themselves, they were a lot of fun. The couple of that really tickled me was John Ralphio's sister from Parks and Rec.
You did talk about that, yeah.
They called her Big Nose. Jenny Slate, yeah. They called her Big Nose or whatever, and then she had this little puppy. And it was so random she was in the movie even at all. And then when she had her fight scene, I wasn't expecting it. And so then she swings this dog around, you know what I mean? And it was just like, this is hysterical. The hot dog thing, I had that spoiled for me, so like I didn't really think that was super funny. Although I did appreciate the relationship that she had with the IRS agent in that world. Yeah. And Luis, one of the things you talked about was like some of the characters. It's wild that they put so much emphasis, like the guy with the raccoon hat. You know what I mean? Yeah. The Ratatouille bit. They really hung with him for a while. The same with the IRS agent. Yeah, they kept the jokes going. Yeah. Yeah, I liked that they brought her in for part of the storyline that made you kind of feel empathetic towards her. My favorite bit was when she showed off her trophies, and they were all just butt plugs. Yeah, that to me like was such a high point. I was tears in my eyes laughing so hard because it's such a dig. No one likes the IRS, right? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so for them to have such a visual gag that was, if they had left it at that, I would have been like, that's hysterical. But then of course they come back later and they're all trying to like stick them up their butts or whatever.
Yeah.
My absolute least favorite one was the paper cuts on the fingers. I had to look away. I can't.
I had to look away too.
can't.
I couldn't handle that.
No. Just not for me.
What'd you think
But,
about the rock scene?
I liked it. It was nice. That was one of the moments where I was starting to kind of understand, because that's towards the end.
Yeah.
I was kind of starting to understand. Okay, this is how they're framing it, and it was honestly, they have some line in that scene where it's just like, in this universe, life just didn't really grow or whatever, and so
Yeah.
we sit here and we look out and they say something about how like everything is just so far away, and I don't know why I thought that was really beautiful. Just sitting there like staring, you know what I mean, into this like void that you can't go to because you're just like this stationary thing,
Yeah.
and how sad that can be, but also how like unencumbered those characters could be in that universe. You know, they didn't have the stress of life on top of them. They just got to view the world right in front of them. I also enjoyed what's his name from Indiana Jones? I can't remember what his character.
Ke Huy Quan.
Yep. I liked him. I didn't care for the message he had, where it was just like kindness prevails overall. I thought that was like a little like, I get like, when I think of Interstellar, like one of my least favorite parts of Interstellar was when they were like, love, you know what I mean, transcends all the, and I don't, those get like a little hokey for me, you know what I mean? I'm just like, I kind of roll my eyes, but I understood it as his character. And also, I like his story, just the actor's story in general. We talked about this already, obviously, but like how he wasn't acting for a really long time, and then he saw Crazy Rich Asians and was just like, I really want to be a part of the film community again. And I thought that was interesting that they even used like a clip of Crazy Rich Asians at one point in the movie, at the premiere, and then of course he's in this movie with Sandra Oh. No, I'm sorry, not Sandra Oh. Michelle Yeoh. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yes.
For a half second, I was like, oh my god, I can't just like find every Asian actress, you know what I mean, and get them wrong. And she was great. She was really fun in this movie. I liked what she did. I told you guys, they did like a little clip of her before the movie where she talked about how she got into kung fu or whatever for movies, that she was a dancer primarily, and then she teamed up with Jackie Chan very early on, and she found a way, you know what I mean, to like, even though she didn't know martial arts, because she was a dancer, she found a way to like mimic what they were doing and how it worked for them. So when she had all these fights in the movie, that was when it was just like, I'm really invested in you. Like, you seem so. I'm rambling, you know what I mean? My overall thought is this. I liked the ending of the movie. I did not care. I didn't walk away from it going, I'm definitely going to see this movie again. You know what I mean? It wasn't like up there, and I think that was the hype. You know what I mean? I just built it up in my head, and then it was just, it's tough to stick a landing when you raise it up so much. You know what I mean? Kristen brought up a good point today. She was reading an article that kind of made sense for me in retrospect. She was saying how one of the directors, one of the Daniels, got like diagnosed with ADHD or something, or like he was undiagnosed, and then like during making of this movie or during putting it together or something, he got his diagnosis, and that a lot of the way they tell the story is like through the kind of how like a person with ADHD views the world. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's not one thing you hold on to. There's a million different things. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's all at once. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I thought that was an interesting way to look at that movie. And in retrospect, it made me understand the vision a little bit more. So listen, thumbs up. Again, not my favorite movie, but definitely I respect what they did. And I think maybe down the line I can revisit it, but I wasn't like itching to go back right away. Yeah. The pacing felt kind of weird. You know what I mean? For a 2-hour movie, it was being tugged in all these different directions and not really seeing the through line. I remember being just like, oof, this is kind of dragging, especially in the middle. But again, I think that was my tummy. I think I was just really wanting that chicken sandy.
Yeah.
So, but
I mean, yeah.
I mean, thumbs up. Ed, let's hear your thoughts. Let's hear your thoughts on my thoughts real quick.
No, I'm glad you just saw it in theaters. Thank you.
It was good. I tell you, that experience was fun. Like I said, I don't get to do the solo movie thing very often, and it was nice to kind of just like, okay, take it all in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think more people should do that. I was thinking that as I was watching it. I was like, wow, theaters are dying, but like, if people found these moments, I know theaters are dying. I don't know what you want me to say. I'm not saying that to be antagonistic, Ed. I'm just saying like.
So you're saying it like a fact, and it's not. But
well, we can get into it later if you want. But
no.
But I had a good time, and it was just like you kind of find this love of movies again when you sit in that dark room, and you just get to kind of enjoy it. So a lot of good trailers beforehand too. The one that I was thinking about the most, the Men trailer played, and I thought that looked really good. I know we talked about that previously, but the one that really stuck with me was the Marcel the Shell with shoes on. Did you guys see that trailer before that movie? That one looked great. I was sitting there going, okay, I'm gonna watch movies in theaters again because that trailer blew my mind. I wanted to watch it. I felt so invested in this little shell. And then of course I watched this movie and I was like, okay, this is a fun experience. So I'm gonna try to do that a little bit more. I'm making a commitment to myself to try to go see movies in theaters. Just a little bit more. Movies that aren't Marvel movies, you know what I mean? Because obviously I go see those. Just to try to see something that's not the typical, we'll give it a go.
All right, I'll take it.
All right, there you go. I hope I didn't disappoint you, Ed.
No, when you told us you were going, like, and honestly, ever since we started talking about this film, I guess because I was so emotionally affected by it on so many different ways and different levels, I just one of my biggest concerns was that I did exactly what you said, was overhype it, which I know between you and I, Miguel, that is a common problem in our relationship. And
one of us is always hyping something up.
I know me more so when it comes to movies, and I just need to shut up and let it speak for itself.
But it wasn't even you and Luis hyping it up. I mean, it was everywhere. You know what I mean? Once it came out and people were starting to see it, I mean, the internet would not say anything negative about it. And I think that's tough. You know what I mean? It's just, it creates this expectation. Like I said, I spent the entire movie going, is this the scene? You know what I mean? Is this the scene? Am I supposed to feel something here? Because I don't. And then I feel bad. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I'm missing the thread, or I'm missing the love of this movie. And I'm going to walk away from it, not affected. And how terrible that's going to be. But then, of course, you know what I mean? I had my moment. You know what I mean? I had my moment where I sat back and I was like, okay, I like this. They ended it very well.
Yeah. And you got some chuckles out of it.
A lot. I was, like I said, every funny bit I laughed at, and hard. Yeah. Like I was obnoxiously loud about it. I couldn't believe other people weren't laughing at certain bits. But whatever.
It took you by surprise in that regard, like, because unless you're with people, like in a group or something, going to see something like a comedy, you're kind of very self-conscious about that, I guess. And I found found myself laughing out loud. Well, I don't know. You're just like, you're more aware of it when you're by yourself.
Sure.
Like you noticed you were laughing more than everybody else.
Yeah.
Like there are moments where in movies that aren't supposed to be funny where you just find yourself laughing out loud, and it's not supposed to be funny or whatever. Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, I hear you. I see you.
There you go. I saw it. Ed, if you're next in line, you watched a movie that I definitely want to hear you talk about. So
yeah. So Death on the Nile, right?
But I
have heard that movie too much, right?
I've seen most of that movie. I could tell you about it.
This was one of those movies that it really was just like a throw on. I saw The Murder on the Orient Express. I thought it was fine. I don't think it was, anything spectacular. And it came out the same year as Knives Out, which was like an original murder mystery that was actually fucking brilliant. and this one was just kind of like I liked the murder,
more.
and I know you did. I'm just saying, like, in comparison to, say, like, Knives Out,
Sure.
have it, and this one kind of reaffirmed my feelings of the first one, in that I didn't think this one was, and granted, I did not see this one in theaters or anything like that. I streamed it, and it just didn't feel very thrilling. It was a little just kind of boring, to be honest.
Yes.
And this one just felt like this one had like a theatrical release before it ever hit streaming, and I just can't figure out why. It feels very much like a straight to streaming effort. Like Kenneth Branagh, like everybody's just kind of asleep while they're making this kind of thing.
Sure.
Like Kenneth Branagh just did Belfast last year. He's capable of much more intimate and cinematic films, and this one just felt very generic in a lot of sense.
We really enjoyed the first one, Murder on the Orient Express. We had a great time with it. So when they were saying they were going to come out with a sequel for this one, I was really looking forward to it.
Same.
But watching it, man, it's just one of those, like, the murder doesn't happen until like halfway through the movie, so it's a lot of exposition, and that can be fine, to subvert our expectations. The internet loves that phrase. To not kill them right away, and that's fine. But then I spent like the whole first half of that movie going like, because at first it's not clear who's gonna die. Like I was like, it must be Gal Gadot, but that was kind of going through my head like, is this person gonna die? Is this person gonna die?
Yeah.
How is this gonna happen? And then of course it ends up being Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
And it's we turned it off like maybe a little over halfway, and it was just like, this is. The CGI also is not very great. You know what I mean?
Excessive.
It looks very syrupy.
Yeah.
And it's just overdone.
All the backdrops are very glossy.
And Marvel gets that hate sometimes too, but at least Marvel is pretty good about making it feel somewhat believable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, Kenneth Branagh just did Belfast, which felt much more realistic, and that was a movie that was set like in the 80s, late 70s, in black and white. And so this one just felt like, again, it just felt like a easy 1-2 for everybody involved, really. Like nobody really stood out, including Kenneth Branagh, who plays Hercule Poirot, who's supposed to be like this fun, eccentric character. And I
liked him in the first one.
I mean,
he was great.
That's why I was like on board for a second one, because I know it is a series of books, so go for it, But like, it just I can't even say I was like supremely disappointed, but just like it wasn't anything to write home about. That's for sure. So yeah.
But that was not the movie I was asking about.
No, you're right. I've been hate watching Too Hot to Handle, and I haven't finished this latest season. I've only watched the third season because I'm not going to do that to myself. But you know what? I've stuck with it, and but it also just reminds me of why I hate this kind of shows. Like towards the end, it starts getting. Like it has like these much more dramatic music drops. Just people say the stupidest fucking shit to each other. Where like even me as a 32-year-old, I like if I had ever said something, and I mean maybe I fucking did, and maybe I was a twat. Now I can confirm I was a twat, but it just makes me sad for humanity sometimes. And but don't get me wrong, I get caught up in it. Like I'm so glad Bo and Harry work out, and they're like the sweetest couple.
Good.
It's just stupid. It is stupid. It's dumb television, and I was once again just trying to be a part of the conversation.
And the best bit about reality TV shows like this, like when it's like competition, like love type shows, is not just the season itself, but when they come back for
The reunion episode?
The reunion episode,
Yeah.
dude. And it doesn't matter what the show is. If there's a reunion episode, I am here for it because that's when they all sit down together and they've all seen the show now and they've seen how they all look.
That's so good.
And, then they sit there and they go, well, you were an asshole. Well, I didn't know that you were doing this at the time, so actually I take it back. Or they do something stupid like, can I, do you want to marry me? You're like, oh, yes. I love those.
And their interviews, like I feel like they're always so confident when they do, like in general, like these reality shows when they do these interviews outside of it, they're always so confident in what they're saying, even when they make these digs. And it's like you do know you're gonna have to face this person at the reunion show again.
Yep.
And they're just
Does
like,
Netflix,
fuck this person's dumbass shit, Just,
does Netflix do that?
I don't know. I've not seen Too Hot to Handle, but most trashy reality shows will do a reunion episode.
See, I did start watching this show thinking that you had watched it, hence trying to be a part of the conversation.
No,
so,
I think probably Mike more so is watching this. No, I'm an Are You the One? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's the one you.
Are You the One? That's right. Okay, I didn't. I mean, and I have seen bits of that with you. The one that I stuck through was Fuckboy Island.
Oh, I loved F-Boy Island.
F-Boy Island. So this was obviously in the same vein with a bit of a twist. But I'll finish out this season, but I'm not gonna.
We have to do a reality TV episode. Like, I just think I could talk about 10 different reality TV shows that are just like the ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We should do it. And if not,
well, you have a special guest too, don't you? Like, isn't there somebody you know?
I want to ask Mike because Mike is always really good about watching the trashy reality TV shows that I watch.
Yeah.
So he's always real quick to text me, Miguel, are you watching this one? And I'm like, no, not yet, but I'm going to jump on it. So that's solid that he got you watching Too Hot to Handle too.
I am just being vigilant and doing my research into possible topics. So
it's tough because we're going into the summer blockbuster season, so we're gonna have like movie after movie. But if there's ever a lull or after the summer blockbuster season, we can do a reality show.
We'll do like January or February next year. We'll do like a reality episode so we can fill in. You know what I mean?
All the junky movies come out.
Yeah.
Okay. For Junk Movie Month, we're gonna talk about junky shows. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
All right.
That's not what I was asking you about.
Okay, The Quick and the Dead.
God damn it.
No, so I watched this on a whim post Doctor Strange because I was realizing I haven't really watched a whole lot of Sam Raimi movies beyond Evil Dead and Spider-Man. And one of the things that came up was The Quick and the Dead. It's a Western. It's got a great cast of actors. And I love me a good Western, though I will say most Westerns in the 90s post Unforgiven in 92 are just not my cup of tea for the most part. I do not like Wyatt Earp. I do not like Tombstone.
You don't like Tombstone?
Man, Tombstone is a movie that's
an overhyped movie.
Very overhyped, and I think nostalgia plays a big part of it. But that is a chunk like That's a movie that had half of an idea and then didn't know what to do with itself after the main battle of the OK Corral. I will say Val Kilmer was the best thing about it. Anyway, The Quick and the Dead, I loved, especially coming out of Doctor Strange. Have you guys seen it?
I haven't seen it. No, I'm interested now.
I think it's a lot of fun. Apparently, Sharon Stone was a big part of the creative process for this movie. She was like in the height, or maybe not height, but like prime. She was coming off hot of Basic Instinct, which had come out a couple of years earlier. This came out the same year as Casino, where she got nominated for an Oscar. She's one of the producers of this film, but she... for instance, she was the one who got like Leo DiCaprio in the cast, and she was the one who got Russell Crowe on board. She kind of pulled it all together and she was the one who chose Sam Raimi to direct it.
Oh, really? Wow.
So, or at least had like a big hand in it. And this movie is very Sam Raimi. It has so many cool shots. The plot is completely ludicrous. It's a little unnecessary. It's like but that's the point. It's very like melodramatic Western style, told with like a hard R rating, but in the most Sam Raimi way. Like the violence is graphic but absurd, but everybody is having a good time with it. And it's a fun Western. It's like an hour and 45 minutes, real short.
Where did you watch it?
It's on Netflix.
Netflix. Sorry, I was just curious.
Netflix. I watched it on my projector. That image was wonderful. And yeah, it's like an ode to the Sergio Leone westerns, but again, very, very Sam Raimi stylized. Practical effects and everything. It looks great. The characters are a lot of fun. Like Gene Hackman is the villain, and he's really sinking his teeth into it. And cool. It's got, like I said, Russell Crowe in his like first American movie, Leo DiCaprio when he's like a young, spunky kid, Sharon Stone in the lead, and some other like notable faces that. It's just like a really good, fun ensemble. So I would say if you've got just like a fun rainy afternoon, throw it on because it is a lot of fun. There's like some good laughs. It's like fun action, and it never takes itself too seriously. So yeah. Oh, Gary Sinise is in it too. So yeah, really fun movie. I'm glad I just watched it, and it's reaffirmed my like of Sam Raimi. So, The Truman Show. I finally watched it.
There you go. Let's hear it.
It's on HBO Max.
I hope it wasn't overhyped.
Guys, you can never overhype a movie for me. I'm the master of overhype. Because I talk out of my ass. The Truman Show, I couldn't really tell you why I avoided it for so long. It was a movie that came to me before I really got into movies. And at a time where it was like the height of Jim Carrey, post Pet Detective and The Mask, all the like outrageous comedies that he did. So this, I remember going to a sleepover. We started this movie and then we turned it off because it was...
Hell yeah,
not what
funny.
We expected. Yeah, it wasn't funny.
Yeah.
So going into it, at first I'm like, I get the premise, and I don't think they really make an effort to like try and like disillusion you about what it's about. It's about like a reality show about this guy and his entire life. And I gotta say, like, I was overall very moved by it. I thought it was
solid,
really good. It moves really quickly. I forgot it was a Peter Weir movie, so I got a lot of those notes throughout the movie. I was just like, okay, that makes sense. He's a great director, and this is a great movie of his. I enjoyed it. I was surprised at how much I really enjoyed it, and it was really lovely and kind of tragic and but again told with such like it was clearly for this moment in time, because like there are parts in it where I was just like, man, this is just like a severe lack in security. Like they're really dropping the ball on this. Like the people who produced this show, the Truman Show, it's just like, they're fucking like, how did he not figure this out sooner? But the point is to capture him at this transition of his life. And I was on board with that. I thought everybody played it really well. I thought Laura Linney was great. And Ed Harris was fucking incredible.
Man. Absolutely.
So good in it.
Yeah.
So good in it. there were some things like almost like 90s tropes where I was just like afraid it was going to start dragging, like the whole story with the father and everything. But it doesn't. It doesn't like go down this like unnecessary path of let's catch up and or whatever. It just like stuck with the story of Truman getting out of this like hellhole that he's discovered that he's in. And yeah, the ending was so beautiful. It was like when Ed Harris reaches out to him and talks to him, trying to, like a last ditch attempt to just keep him there, was like you could almost buy into it, Yeah, no, I was, and yeah, great cast, great direction, and one of those that I will have to add to my like regular views. Like, it's a good movie.
Ed, when we talked about this, one of the things, I think we were texting, one of the things I said was, it's one of my favorite movies, and you were like, I've never heard you talk about it at all. But I think you so beautifully captured, like, it is just something you get invested in, you know what I mean? And it's one of those things that you think shouldn't work, but it does, and it's it's a story that's told with such good heart. And with Jim Carrey, also, you expect one thing, but he gives you something else.
Yeah.
And while I can't sit here and like quote every line from the movie or anything like I can with other movies, I think I maybe have only seen it like 4 times. Yeah. But it really is just like a classic, and it's one of Jim Carrey's, I think, one of his best.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And I know this was one of those movies prior to Eternal Sunshine where he was really hoping for that Oscar, and I think only Ed Harris got nominated, but and rightfully so. But yeah, no, I thought he was really, really good. It's nice when he can subvert your expectations, old Jim Carrey. So I didn't appreciate it at the time when this movie came out, and for whatever reason, it's taken me this long to watch it. I really couldn't say, but I'm glad you guys talked me into it, and.
Solid.
It was a nice revelatory experience. Would watch again. Would recommend to anybody who hadn't seen it. And
solid. That makes me happy.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it makes me want to rewatch it too. Just hearing you talk about it again.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, no.
It's been a while. Yeah, I've seen it. It's been a long time, but
go out and watch Peter Weir.
It's definitely like a Sunday movie genre. You know what I mean? Like it's.
Yeah,
you could totally watch that on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, and I know I just watched it, so again, I might be just whatever. But like, it's like you said, one of those movies, kind of like in the vein of Shawshank Redemption or something, like something that you could always go back and rewatch and just enjoy it so much from beginning to end, not just for one moment. Not for one moment, just for the entire thing, and it's nice. It's a nice thing. It's a good thing.
I remember in 2008, 2009 or something, I remember going to IMDb for their top 100 movies. Yeah. And it was like Shawshank Redemption was always at the top when you mentioned Shawshank Redemption. I remember seeing as a kid, I was just like, oh my God, this thing is always there. And then I remember when Dark Knight was creeping its way up to the top, I'm like, yeah, we're doing it, guys. We're making Batman into a serious movie. Like, we're making it, we're trying, trying
and then you realize IMDb is bullshit.
Yeah, well, yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, only that top 100 is just basically everybody's top 100. It's just like
it's the most
popular movie.
Shawshank Redemption is still the top movie in the 250 movie. It's Shawshank, The Godfather, The Dark Knight, The Godfather Part 2, and 12 Angry Men. Schindler's List, Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, Pulp Fiction, Lord of the Rings: The Fellowship of the Ring, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. I can keep going. God, okay. Just go to imdb.com and check it out yourself.
Yeah.
I just keep wanting to go on the list. I'm like, okay. These are good.
It's one of those lists that I've always thought, oh yeah, I'll go through the IMDb top whatever. But then I've seen most of them already, it wouldn't be much of a journey, I'd just be rewatching movies. Some of them I don't like. So, yeah. Well, cool. Again, thank you guys for giving me that extra nudge. I'm sure I would have come around to it eventually, but this was a good excuse to finally just watch it, and I'm glad I did.
You know what that means?
It's my turn.
Ed and I did it. We did our movies.
Now it's time for me to talk about TV show. I only have one this time.
Wait, no.
Wait, what?
I was saying you've never seen Saving Private Ryan, right?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. I thought that got skirted away. I know. Okay, Saving Private Ryan. Let's see.
It's still on Netflix. It's still on
Netflix. Okay.
Yeah,
my God. 2 hours and 49 minutes. Here we go again. Going to Batman territory.
It flies by.
I need to dedicate the time. Okay, I know, but I literally need to dedicate 3 hours of my time. I gotta find the time. You know what? I think I might have time, not this week, but the following week. So
okay,
I've scheduled it. I penciled it in 2 weeks' time. Saving Private Ryan. We'll watch
the biggest screen that you can summon.
I'll probably watch it on my iPad.
Don't watch it. Yeah. Okay. Don't watch it on your phone.
No.
I'll put it on my Apple Watch. Oh, yeah.
I will quit this podcast.
Okay, so it's my turn. I will go and I will watch Saving Private Ryan. I will report back. It's been hyped to the max, so I'm ready to go and make sure. I'll be like, is this the moment that I'm supposed to like it? No,
Shut the fuck
up. I'll go into it pretty open. I'll get a neuralizer, flash my face, and be like, let's go into it.
Order a chicken sandwich before.
Let me tell you this. It doesn't matter what we say. That is such a visceral movie. It will not matter what any one opinion is before you go in. You will just be in it.
I know about the opening,
and the only way out is through. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's beautiful. 100%. All the way out is through.
And hey, man, afterwards we'll be here to give you a hug.
Okay.
A virtual.
When you finish,
a virtual hug.
Yeah, you'll need it.
All right. I'll reach out to you guys. I'll give you guys a hug emoji. The one with the little hands sticking out like that.
Yeah, there you go.
That's that.
So what are you watching, Luis?
Yeah,
okay. What am I watching? I am watching. Last week, if you're an avid listener of the podcast, Miguel said that he was on Marvelous Miss Maisel season 4. I haven't watched the new season, and I said I would jump on when he jumps on, and that's what I'm in right now. So I'm watching Marvelous Maisel. I'm 4 episodes in. Got 4 episodes left. Are you done with the season, Miguel?
No, because we got on the Degrassi train. So we were trying to do we were trying to do Degrassi and Miss Maisel, but then we kind of just got lost in the sauce.
Right, but, you kind of get hyper focused into the Degrassi.
Yes, we've been binging it, but it's a good season so far.
Yeah, no, I'm halfway through. I'm in the midway point, and I have such a ball. I love this kind of stuff. It's like drinking a pop soda. It's so bubbly. The scripting is just like the back and forth. I love that kind of dynamic. I love. I'm a theater kid.
Yeah.
So this is the type of stuff that I kind of chew on, where it's the importance of being earnest, or like Shakespeare, Moliere, this quippy, witty back and forth banter where it sounds like music. And the characters have really come. It's been a while since I've watched the show, but I was like, oh damn, they have really gone through a lot, and where they are now, especially like Midge's dad, where he's working with the paper and stuff like that. But I'm really liking it. I don't really have much to say about the show, except that I just really enjoy this effervescent dialogue and back and forth. It's really fun. It's just, I have a good time. I like one scene that stands out to me is when they were going to the carnival and they got into the what's it called?
Not the carousel, the
Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel. Yeah, they all got into a Ferris wheel. They all got on their own different carousels, and there was a scene where they were just having an overlapping conversation about 3 different topics, and the way that they were just cutting between the conversation and having it out in the open with all these people, I thought was just it was just a really fun moment. It was just oh, this is. I like how they're able to take that and put it in another environment, and just to see it happen in a Ferris wheel was so quirky and fun. So I like how they're long too. I forgot. I jumped back in. I was like, oh my God, an hour long. Yeah, I thought they were 23 minutes. And so I'm trying to get them in as much as I can. But yeah, no, I mean, that's pretty much been my week. What else have I been going on? Not much. Just that, doing this podcast takes time. So I've been spending a lot of time getting this thing set up. But
Ed, I'd be curious to see if you started watching, because you haven't seen Marvelous Miss Maisel, yeah?
I was just telling myself, Ed, wouldn't that be a wonderful treat for Miguel and Luis if you started watching Marvelous Miss Maisel without them knowing?
I shouldn't have said anything. I've ruined
no, I'm
it.
considering it. I mean, I know it is.
It only got better, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, but I've only heard good things from the start, so it's. So yeah, I'm not opposed to it. Maybe I'll bring it up with Sarah and see where she stands on it, and then go from there. So.
You know who at first I thought I was gonna hate, but I ended up really enjoying is Alex Borstein.
Oh yeah.
She, if you don't know Alex Borstein, she does a lot of voiceover work.
Lois
so she plays
from
Lois
Family.
on Family Guy. Yeah. And so that's really and she was also on like Mad TV for a really long time.
Yeah.
And she's really funny, but her character is so off-putting, especially in the first season. I felt like, as everyone was still trying to lock down who the characters were. She was a tough cookie for me, but she has only gotten better. And Luis, I don't want to spoil too much, but she goes to a funeral for a character.
Yes, I saw that scene.
Okay, I don't want to give too much away,
yeah.
But she is really, really, really good in that episode, in a way that character has not really performed before. And I definitely walked away from that episode going like, man, I know she's won an Emmy for this role already, but she totally could win it again for this season. Yeah. Well, it's probably already passed now, but she could have for that episode alone. And specifically, Tony Shalhoub sells this whole show for me. I love Tony Shalhoub. Him and his wife, their characters.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Actually, I could go on a whole rabbit hole if I get off. You know what I mean? I'll be on a soapbox, but I'm glad you're watching it because I want to finish season 4 and we can talk about it. And Ed, if you guys start watching it, I hope you enjoy it.
All right.
Yeah, I was surprised. Also, Jason Alexander popped in a scene. I was like, "Oh, this is fun," because he kind of fits the. He had that experience with Seinfeld, where it's just kind of like this musical dialogue, and so he kind of fits the world pretty nicely. And him and Tony Shalhoub have some scenes together, and it's just really fun. Like I just like I like listening to the language of it all and the music and how it bounces. But
the daughter from Everything Everywhere All at Once. She's in Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Yeah, that's where I first saw her.
Yeah, she's got a bigger character this season. So
good.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff. Check it out. We've come to the sad end of the podcast. We thought it would be a shorter one. We got you, folks. It's still a 2-hour one. Tune in to next week. We're going to talk about we're going to give our rankings of which movies are going to be the top 10 blockbusters. It's called our Summer Movie Wager. We know there's another podcast that's doing it. I loved it, and I want us to do it as well. It's a fun game. So we're going to rank what we think or predict what we think which movies are going to be top 10 in the blockbuster. But until then, I've been Luis Gonzalez, and of course we've had
Miguel Sanchez.
And I'm Ed Bull.
And you know what's coming up next? Later, Gators.
Gators.
There it is.